tell her meeting's starting, please be here.
Everyone's here but you, Katie.
Yep, everybody's here but you, Katie, and you're coming up on the agenda. I'd like to call, first of all, good morning. I'd like to call to order the Lynn Valley Lake Property Owners Association Board of Directors meeting for February 21st, 2026. Roll call of directors.
Dan Coleman.
Dennis Keegan.
Julie Miller-Childs.
Terry Barnhart.
Wayne Scott is absent today. He is in rehab. He sounds in very good spirits. We talked about, he called me actually yesterday. We talked for about 20 minutes or so. He's ready to come home. He's already planning his outpatient rehab, and I think he's working really, really hard to get out of there. He was really excited when I talked to him because he ordered for the following day for breakfast, he ordered 4 pieces of French toast. He ordered 4 pieces of bacon. He ordered scrambled eggs. He ordered 2 milks, and he ordered an orange juice. So he was really excited he got to eat the next morning. I thought, bigger eyes than tummy, and sure enough, he ate 2 pieces of French toast and a couple pieces of bacon. But he's eating, and I think that's going to be a real boost to him because he'd lost about 25 pounds. So we're excited. We can't wait to get him back in the valley. We'd like and appreciate if you could all make the dinner tonight. Movie's Ratatouille, and we're having spaghetti. So if you guys can come out, there's going to be a silent auction, which Lindsay can get into all of that when we get to rec committee. Are there any visitors here? Anybody who hasn't been to a meeting that would like to introduce themselves? Nope. Board, I'd like approval of the January 17th, 2026 Board of Directors regular meeting minutes.
I'll vote to approve those minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? My president's report basically was short and sweet until the last couple of days. There's not a lot to report in the last month. Bathhouse 1, we're hoping, is going to be completed, totally finished by the end of this next week. We're working on getting painting done in it. It's just going to depend. Maintenance is doing the painting, so it's just going to depend what else pops up on their plate. But they are trying to get it done for me. Our employees have worked really hard for the past year, and we just want to thank all of our employees for everything they've done, how much they've stepped up to the plate, become more attentive of how the valley's taken care of and how our members are taken care of. So I just want to give all of our employees kudos for that. And then a personal comment regarding the rate increases, because I know that was quite the discussion. First, I want you to know this board does not take these decisions lightly. There is a lot of research that goes into them. If you went to the last meeting or watched last meeting, we voted on it at the last meeting. It was discussed. I thought it was covered quite well at the last meeting. Evidently, people didn't watch the last meeting or weren't here. Sorry I didn't get it posted on the website. I should have posted it right after the meeting. I don't know if that would have mattered because we just would have been 2 weeks earlier on everybody complaining. And I shouldn't say everybody because it was about 20 people. A vocal few. I'm not happy rates went up. I'm not. We were brought on board, though, to do what was best for our community, and losing $70,000 a year on water, that's basically being taken out of our assessments, which I can appreciate that some of it would be, but we're starting to climb. Every year we're losing more and more. When budget came out last year, we were not here. We did not have a chance to analyze everything. We did not have Rhonda and Brenda and Pam and Dustin that went through and combed through everything. We weren't here the year before that. So this board's job is to look at what we can look at from when we started. Would I have liked to have seen it go up $2 or $3? Yeah, it goes up $2 a year. You kind of expect that your utilities are going to go up. Where would we be at today? We'd be at about $6 for water. We'd be at $6 more or whatever for sewer. But my question to the community is, should the POA assessments from individuals that do not use water and sewer pay to subsidize residents' water and sewer? And that's my concern. I can't afford this any more than the rest of you. I'm on a fixed income. My taxes have gone up. My insurance has gone up. Everything's gone up. So I spent the last week trying to, review my insurance to see if I could lower prices there, because I can't afford the price increase any more than anybody else can, but I've got to do what's best for the community. We've got to do what's best for the community. Would it have, like I said, would it have been nice if we could have done this incrementally, a couple bucks a year? Yeah, that would have been great, but we just now reviewed all of this and came to light. I live paycheck to paycheck just like the rest of you, and I don't want to make this a little Johnson County, and we did not hire some secret firm to straighten out our books, and we did, however, have someone do our annual taxes like we do every year, and we hired an outside firm to do an audit that should have been done a couple times in the last 10 years that is now complete. We got the report yesterday. I don't think any of us have had a chance to really look at the report, but the audit is complete. We've got that done. We ask our Facebook warriors to please stop spreading rumors, because a lot of what was on Facebook was exactly that. It was somebody's uneducated guess or judgment or whatever it was. But a lot of what was posted was totally incorrect. We want our employees to be taken care of with annual raises in recognition of a job well done. And until you spend a few weeks in the office or in maintenance, please do not judge our need for employees. One resident had a good suggestion. If you want to cut office expenses, volunteer your time to work there for free. Not counting board commitments, I've worked 4 days in the office in the past month. That's not including my board commitments. As hard as office staff, I didn't work as hard as office staff, but I worked. Rhonda Keegan's been spending many, many hours a week working. It's time to let her get back to retirement. Doug Liljergren spent numerous hours in the past months working on demand letters, liens, filings. Let's let him get back to his retirement. People complain about the past due assessments, but they want someone to take care of collecting them for free. They've gotten out of hand. They just got out of hand. And we're trying to get that cleaned up. But I don't see a lot of people from the community volunteering their time to help with the 500 letters and everything else.
Is there a need for help in the office? Because I don't know that I've ever heard anyone say we could use some volunteers on Tuesday to put some.
And we can definitely do that. It's we could do that when we need it, because there's a lot of times like the ballots. I spent 5 days working on the ballots, where we were sorting and stuffing.
More
and
on kind of
mailing.
special project
Yeah.
kind of things.
A special project. So we can be more attentive to that, Pam, and put something out if we have a big project like that, and see if we get volunteers, because that would be very helpful. Because there were 5 of us working on that.
Yeah, we, to get the annual meeting notice out, there were, 4 or 5 of us working on it. The issue was, on our old QuickBooks system, I could go on there and print the labels, and I could ask it to sort them by how the lots are typed, whether it's a resident or an annual member, whatever, and that kind of cut down on the labels. Well, when we got the labels printed this time, it printed everybody. And so,
Right, so if you had 5 lots, it printed 5 labels, and it didn't do them
Right.
alphabetically. So there was a label here on this
Yeah.
page, and a label on that page, and a label on another page.
so
And-
if you receive more than one in the mail, we apologize, but we did our due diligence on trying to go through, because we went through and put we sorted through, marked out the duplicates that we saw. Then we also, after we put them on the envelopes, we alphabetized all of the envelopes and pulled out more duplicates after that. So yeah, I thank Julie for all of the time she spent up there with us to get that done, so.
I'm just saying, I'm not any good at like building a dock. But
Right.
I could come in
Okay.
and help you guys
And-
put out boat stickers or something on a busy Saturday.
That'd be,
If I knew
that'd be
who
Okay.
great.
needed me and when, I
Well-
think if you told people, there might be more people who would wanna help.
Right, and we could talk to Brenda about
Yeah.
that and get a list
Absolutely.
of things that volunteers
But
could help
even
with.
with that, as far as the lien work, you know, running to Mound City to take and file liens, the demand letters, somebody making sure those were all, you know, processed correctly and were being sent out per the attorney's direction. You know, it did take Doug a lot of time. And we cannot neglect the past due assessments anymore. We have got to approach them, and then we've got to move forward systematically so that we don't have lots that are 10 years old sitting out there that have never paid assessments. I'd rather we owned them and had them for sale, available to the public, than have them just sitting there doing absolutely nothing. So if we have this many volunteers spending this much time, we are gonna need to have a person come in to take over some of the responsibilities in the office, which is, what we've kind of all narrowed it down to, is to take over all of the bookkeeping and, the liens and the filings and the collections and, you know, making sure that all stays up to date and current. You asked, what's Brenda doing then? Well, Brenda's gonna be watching the budget, and she's gonna be reconciling the books at the end of the month. And she will be working on HOA Life, so we can get that more user-friendly and be able to do more like order water and sewer on it. She's working 60 to 70 hours a week, and she's on salary. That's a lot of, just like Dustin, that's a lot of time that she has every right to be home with her family just like everybody else does. So we have to look at our employees, and if we keep working them to death, they're leaving. They can go someplace else and work 8 to 5. But like I said, I will vouch for every single person in the office and in maintenance and at the golf course and at the pro shop, that they work hard each and every day. Be patient, please, with our maintenance crew. We've got a new supervisor in. We are utilizing his skills to improve maintenance in water and sewer. Of course, the next 2 years is gonna be the moving target with water. I mean, we just really don't know what to expect, except, I guess, the water tower's full. And this discussion was that we'll probably be decommissioning our water plant sometime the first part of the year, next year, 2027. So that's what we, you know, really, really know about the water project. And, you know, we don't know when meters are gonna be hooked up, we don't know when people are gonna be getting water, we don't know how it's gonna affect water and sewer. For the people that don't come to the meetings, don't watch the meetings, or don't listen to what's being said at the meetings, as I said before, please stop spreading false information. If you guys know these people, please ask them to contact the board if they're unsure about something, instead of making things up and putting it on Facebook. I just want to take this as the last board meeting for the year. Annual meeting is next week. And I want to thank everybody that has supported us and that has made this a really great year, and we could not have done it without you. Thank you.
Thanks, Julie.
Dennis.
Few things. One, I'm kind of tagging onto what Julie said. We now have excellent managers in the office, in maintenance, and on the golf course. So all of them are doing a great job. It just makes the whole community, it helps to improve the whole community when you've got great people like that, and they are just doing a great job. Like Julie said, it's frustrating when there's misinformation out there on social media, and anybody that's served on a board anywhere knows, there's always false information, misinformation, half-truths and whatever out there, and people say, well, you guys should go out and debate it on social media. We're not doing it. I mean, it just becomes a losing game to try to debate something on social media, so we're not doing that. We will bring out actual facts, and we can't help what somebody posts out there. So that's kind of what that is. There has been, it's come to our attention, there's been a group of people advocating for people not to vote at the annual meeting in order to not have a quorum to create a second election and possibly have write-in, or I'm not even sure what their motivation is. But they're the same people that say we don't spend our money judiciously, but yet they're wanting to spend $3,000 on another election. So it's like, it's very important that everyone, even though there's 4 spots and 4 candidates, it's still very important that you vote so that we have a quorum in the election. So, the water and sewer, I think you kind of covered. I mean, we can cover it more, you know, as we go on there. So, that was kind of what I had.
Dan, do you have anything? Terry, do you
I'll
have
wait
anything?
till the treasurer's report for me to
Okay.
give you all my little spiel.
Doug Liljegren is on vacation, and he said as far as the spillway update, that we're still waiting on McClure for the permit documents. Once the permit's granted, we'll put bids out for a contractor on the spillway. So that's the update for that. Pam?
I've been off for a few days after my shoulder surgery, but that doesn't mean I haven't been working.
That's right.
I've gotten numerous phone calls, text, emails.
Agenda.
Julie, thanks for dinner that night.
Oh,
That was
no
very
problem.
good. Appreciate it. I don't know. And then I got stuff ready for the board meeting. So, but it was good to get that done. And I hope to get back in the office soon, and if not full days, at least half days. So, or work from home more. So,
Right.
I do have the sign-up sheet for the standing and non-standing committees, if you all would like to sign up and volunteer to help on the committees. The standing committees are the nominating committee, recreation committee, architectural control committee, golf committee, and the finance committee. The non-standing committees are lake and wildlife and real estate.
And we will be adding another one today, later on in the meeting.
So I'll have to get that added to the sheets, but I do have that here, and we will have the sign-up sheet available at the annual meeting, which is next week at 10 o'clock here at the clubhouse. And the committees, we do ask that you give a report at that meeting if you're able to. So right now, that's all I can think of.
Brenda was not able to join us this morning.
I have she typed a little report that she asked me to read for her. Guardhouse operations. We are currently reviewing the guardhouse schedule to identify adjustments that best meet community needs for guard attendance, while also accounting for seasonal fluctuations and budget considerations. The goal is to ensure appropriate coverage that aligns with both safety priorities and fiscal responsibility. Bookkeeping position. We are actively seeking applicants for a bookkeeping position. This role is intended to supplement the full-time volunteer efforts previously provided by Rhonda, as well as the position formerly held by Cindy, who has resigned from the POA to pursue a new opportunity outside the state of Kansas. We extend our best wishes to Cindy as she begins this new chapter. Election update. Preparations for the upcoming election are underway. Currently, 12 votes have been cast through HOA Life. A ballot box is available in the lobby of the POA office for in-person submissions. Mailed ballots are being received at the Lacey Post Office box. Please contact the POA office with any questions regarding voting procedures. We will have ballots available if you have not voted or did not receive your ballots, so we will have those available at the annual meeting.
Okay, great. Miss Katie?
All right, so luckily January and February have been kind of some bonus months here at the golf course. We got some very fortunate weather, so the rounds have been up quite a bit from last year, obviously. For 2025, the rounds were roughly a 30% increase compared to 2024, so that's huge. And then January was up 284 rounds compared to last January, but we had that huge ice storm come in. I have been looking for golf carts to add to our current fleet, so I've been in contact with the board members, and Andrew and I and Bob have been looking at different carts and everything. We went down to Odessa to go check some out, and they look very decent, and so hopefully that all works out. I have been in contact with other companies and everything for tournaments and everything, and so I've got a couple more booked, hoping to have some good, maybe some junior tournaments out here, which I think would be very good for the community. And then the restaurant has opened up, so we've been working with the restaurant trying to figure out maybe some tournament meals and everything, and they're more than happy to do it. Their food is also very good. And then I've been working with Rhonda on the budget, just updating a couple things from the last meeting, to make it a little bit less of a loss. And then Cisco, that was costing us, but we've been able to work it out with the restaurant to where we share a truck, and that means we cut down on cost tremendously. And that was about it.
Rates for this year?
The rates for this year, so I've been sending in recommendations and everything, and I think that's getting voted on after a little bit, right?
Can you give us the list of what the rates will be?
Yes.
Is that on the agenda?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on the agenda to vote on.
Yes. So, I think it was the increase on rates, we're gonna keep annual memberships as they were of last year, and we were gonna increase the daily rates on Friday through Sunday, sorry. And so they would go from, they'd go to increase of $10 for property owners and $10 for guests, and then $5 increase for 9 holes as well. So 18 holes is the $10 increase, and then 9 holes is the $5 increase. And there was a couple more adjustments that were just slightly $1 or $2 increases with that.
And age,
The age has been upgraded to, it used to be from 6 to 9, you would play for free. We've bumped it up to 6 to 12. Just kind of makes more sense, and it'll just get more kids out there to play, honestly, at no charge.
non-golfer.
The non-golfer, we've gotten rid of the rider fee, sorry. We've gotten rid of the rider fee, so hopefully that gets more people out onto the golf course and everything, who aren't golfers. If you want to come with your husband or spouse or whoever and just kind of ride along while they play, then there's no $5 fee for that anymore. I think that was it. Yes? The annual rate will be the same as last year, so if it was a individual with their private cart, it's $700. Individual with a Deer Trace card, I believe, is $875. And then if you just wanted to pay like a trail fee every time for your own cart or pay for a Deer Trace cart, basically what we call the walking membership is $500, and that's for all for individuals. Family would be it's $825 for a family with personal cart, $1,100 for a family with Deer Trace cart, and then I believe it was 600. I could be wrong on that. I believe it was 600 for the walking membership for a family. And then grandchildren is 85, I believe. Yes.
So on the daily rate for a
Yes.
member, on a weekend, what's it gonna cost for someone that does not have a membership to come in and play with their own card?
With their own cart, so I think we raised it $10. So is the do what?
Is it gonna be 55?
That was for a guest, was gonna be 55,
I think it's 45.
and that was with our cart. So that's 55 for a guest with our cart. Property owner was gonna be, what was that?
So wasn't it 25 before, now it's going to
I
35?
wanna say it was
And then it's
35,
5 for the cart, so
and then 5
is
for the
it
cart, so it would be
$40?
$40
Yeah,
per
that sounds
round.
Which is fair.
Yeah.
Very good.
And that's just Friday through Sunday, so that's just the weekend rate. Typically just when we get more traffic in, so hopefully.
You wanna discuss the twilight rate again too?
The Twilight has been updated, so the Twilight rate in general will just, like, it'll stay the same, it'll be the discounted rate, from the new rates that we charge. And that will, the times have changed on that, so, right now, we're still in our winter, like, our winter-fall kind of months, I guess, so, as soon as, like, daylight savings hits again is when we'll update it to, like, the summer months, I guess. It'll be Monday through Thursday, twilight will start at 2 o'clock, Friday through Sunday, it'll start at 3 o'clock. So we pushed that back from it starting at 11 o'clock originally, last year and the years before. It started at 11, Monday through Thursday, and 2, Friday through Sunday. So we just pushed those back a bit.
And just confirmation, the annual membership goes from when to when, and there's no proration, correct?
Yes, so it goes from March to March. If you purchase it in June, it'll still be March. If, like, we have had it before to where we'll offer, like, a half price, but that'll only go for, like, 6 months. So it'd be from, like, October to March, and they'd pay that half of it. Nobody's done that in, well, quite a long time, so, I mean, it can be done, it's just nobody has done it, usually because those are the winter months, so it's kind of like them debating on whether they want to play that much, but it is from March 1st to March 1st, so.
Thank you.
Katie, what was the thought process and why we didn't raise to annual members? Is this, I mean, we are already slanted on that
Yes.
versus other courses in the area.
Yes.
And so that, just my number says that's now a 17.5 round payback, which many of these people with annual memberships are probably playing.
Need him on a microphone.
Yeah.
So we do get quite a few annual members that play every day, and then we get the handful that kind of, everybody does their math with choosing annual memberships. So I did recommend the annual increase to the board and everything, and then they've calculated some numbers, and I do agree with this decision on this year, kind of their choice of increasing the daily fees. I think it was a little bit more.
And Katie did recommend an increase, and the board decided to leave the annual as it was. So,
I wanna throw out one analytic, I did do some, Katie and I worked on some analytics, and when we looked at the total number of annual memberships and the rounds that were calculated for them, it was around a 20 round average, and that means, you know, some members were, like you said, some members were playing 50 rounds, but some members were paying much less. I know that doesn't, you know, to me, that says, okay, on the average, it's about a 20 round per, does that make sense? If we average it all
and a
out?
lot of the annual members are playing Monday through
Can
Thursday.
somebody pass the microphone over by Rhonda,
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have been speaking.
please?
Yeah,
Thank you.
if you guys are
And turn
gonna
it on.
speak even from there, can you
Oh,
please
here we
make
go,
sure
we
you
have
have a
one.
microphone?
Thank you,
Sorry,
Bobby.
guys. I just
Thank
wanted
you,
to throw out one analytic that I recall, and I could go back and double check this, but when I was looking at what I thought it would be the payout for, or break-even point for somebody to purchase a membership, I wanted to see how many rounds did we actually record for members playing. And so when I looked at that number and took the average of the total rounds, it averaged out to about 20 rounds per membership. Now, that doesn't mean per member, but if we were to average that out. So you're right, some people are playing 50, some people might be, playing much less.
But that's a number.
And as was pointed out, a lot of those people are playing during the week when we do have less demand for the course, so that was just my thoughts, but.
Thank you.
I do have a question.
Bobby, is your microphone on?
No,
There you go.
at the guard shack,
Yes.
last year we had several people come in saying they were going to play golf.
Yes.
They had the number. Brett followed several of them. They were not going to the golf course. They were going to a house for a party. Do I require them to have a tee time now?
No, so we typically only do tee times really when the season starts back up, on the weekends, so Saturdays and Sundays, and then holidays we'll do it. We do try to get their name hopefully when it's not windy at the guard gate, because it is hard to hear through that microphone.
Do I write it up on my
But
log
Is
sheet?
he letting them in? Are you letting them in, or are they calling?
They
in?
have the code,
They have
they
the
call,
code to button in.
and the golf course lets them in.
Okay.
I do not let them in.
We
Okay.
try to
Thank
time
you.
that quite well, which I didn't know that Brett had been following them
Yeah.
to different parties or something, or else I would have.
It just happened that he was right behind them.
Yeah,
And he followed them, and he come back and told me
Okay.
that they had went to a house, they didn't go to the golf course.
Okay.
Could
okay.
we get a
We're gonna
cheap
change that.
mobile device for the golf course that we could put an app on that they could, instead of having, do they call for a code? How are they getting the
No,
code?
So the code is that
It's a directory.
It's- yeah.
It's the directory code, which
Okay.
they punch that in the call box.
Could we get an app where it would call Katie or the office and they could get their information and then open the gate for them?
I don't know, it's probably something that we probably could,
I think that's something
Kinda
we need to
brainstorm
discuss
later
a little
rather
bit.
than-
Just a
'Cause,
thought.
yeah, through the gate. So when they type in that code, it'll call the landline at the golf course, and then that's when you press the 9 and you can let them in. When we answer it, we do try to get their name. If it is windy, it is very hard to hear through that call box on the other end, and the connection's just not as good. So we do time it kind of. So like it takes, I don't know, just a few minutes to get from the guard shack down to the golf course. So like, I mean, if somebody calls
Could-
in and we can't get their name for some reason, we time it, and they shortly, like 5 minutes later, they're at the golf course, so we know they didn't go anywhere else.
But what do you do if they don't show up at the golf course?
That's hard because I mean, there's not much we can do. I mean, if we can't get their name from that call box, then I mean, we can't.
but I mean,
necessarily
even if they
track
said
them
a
down.
name, it's not.
Yeah,
how
that's
are
that's
you?
the tough part. I think that we need to do some brainstorming on that. Then, if it's
Okay.
going to be
Okay.
a problem.
That's your job for the next 30 days.
Okay.
Anybody else have questions for Katie before she leaves? No? Thank you, Katie.
Mr. Dustin,
Alrighty. Let's see, like you said earlier, we're trying to get the bathhouse up and going now.
Congrats on the promotion.
Thank you. And, we did get a couple spots marked out in the contractor lot for semis. If anybody's got a truck they wanna bring up so we can test our theory and see this is the best way to park them, that'd be much appreciated.
I'll see if my grandson can bring his up on Monday.
Okay, yeah, I just wanna make sure everything flows, they're easy to get in and out. Right now, the way we've got them set up is you can back your trailer up to our fence on the maintenance lot, so that way nobody can get in there and open doors or anything like that. I figured that was the best way to solve that issue. Been working on all that.
Are you putting a number in each spot? How are you identifying where they're getting their spot?
This is where I'd like to get with you guys. Maybe we can get some signs made up, like if they're lot number that they live at, we can put a lot number with that truck.
Okay.
We can
Because
put
they
a
have
post
to
up
be a
there.
resident to park there.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, that way we know what lot to what truck goes to.
Pam, your thoughts?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So, we said, working on the bathhouses. Luckily, Perry has stepped up in the water and sewer side and has pretty much taken over that, so I can focus on everything else. He's been a tremendous help. We've been going over and over the budget, trying to narrow down ways to save money. And he's been helping me on the water and sewer side, trying to figure all that stuff out. It's just been a hectic couple weeks. So, that's about it.
This is your water and sewer guy. Do you have any questions? Maintenance? Does anybody have any questions about the water sewer raise?
About the analysis that's in there, anybody have any?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
have
you
up on
have
the
it-
screen
Yeah,
an analysis, which is what you guys have in your handouts.
the very
So-
last page is an analysis.
So if you guys,
If anybody's seen anything yesterday, we had Pam put something on Facebook, the water trucks are running low. We got hammered yesterday.
They were running late, not low.
Or, yeah, sorry, we was running late. We ended up with
Well, low too.
Water was low.
45 stops on water and 47 on sewer, which, you know, and Perry even did the math. He said, that's 15 hours of run time for drivers on sewer and 14 hours on drive time for waters. And then at a certain point, the water fill ran out of water because unfortunately, the way we route closest stops. So the turnaround rate, the water fill was not able to keep up and produce enough water to keep the trucks running. So it took a half hour per 1,000 gallons to load a truck. So that's an hour wait time.
Did you get everybody's water
We
and
did
sewer
get everybody
yesterday?
knocked out yesterday.
And what time did you guys get done?
What was it, 5:30?
That's
something like
awesome.
that?
5:30.
That's
Yeah.
excellent. You guys did a great job, thank you.
Dustin,
Oh.
how many of those tickets came in before 8 o'clock? Do you guys know? Do you have
Um,
anything that shows you that?
Yeah, actually we did. Everything came in before 8 except five loads.
Okay.
And then, you know, and I seen somebody comment on our routing schedule. Well, what we don't understand is we get tickets twice a day. He'll pick them up when he comes to the gate at 6 or 7, and then we have another round that we get at 8 o'clock. So the drivers are already out the door running a route before we get our next list. So that's why you see them going from place to place. I seen a comment
But the-
where.
Yeah, the comment that we saw on Facebook was that the gentleman turned in a ticket for himself and his neighbors. They did his, but they didn't do the neighbors. Well, Dustin had to call the driver to go do something else, an
Yeah.
emergency. So there's always, they just don't go willy-nilly and
No,
do this.
no, I had to pull him off to get one that was overflowing because somebody didn't check it.
Well, and the other thing is, somebody over here needs 1,000, say 5 people over here need 1,000 gallons. They've got one truck that holds 2,000 gallons, right?
Yep.
So somehow they've gotta get that additional water and take it back over, you know, to deliver it. So they're gonna be
Well,
all over the community just picking up, dropping off.
just like when people order water for totes, okay? We can split 1,000 gallons between 2 totes because it's only 250 gallons. So if he's dumping one tote on the south side, well, let's run over and get the one on the north side because we don't have to stop and refill. We can just go ahead and get that one. Yes.
Has any of this rate increase for, pay increase for the drivers?
The rate
There,
increase.
there were
covered.
the 3% increase
Yeah.
plus those that got promoted.
Yeah, not much of it. I mean, what it costs to haul sewer and water, you would be surprised.
I wanna just add something to that if I could, cause that's a legitimate question about pay increase, but, I guess one of the things that I guess might jump out to you is when you look at the wages and benefits from 2025 versus what we're budgeting in 2026. And, by the way, I want to thank Destin because I'm an egghead with numbers and I call him and he just, gives me any information that we need to try to figure these things out, and he's so, nice to work with, and I really appreciate all of that. And I can come up with some harebrained ideas, and then he explains to me why that doesn't work. These people don't, these people know what they're doing, okay? It's not that they are just deciding, let's go get in a truck and we'll see what happens today. I mean, they've been at it, it's regimented, but all suggestions, right? We're all open to suggestions. So, but what I would like to say is, when we look at those numbers, when we started 2025, and I have done a lot of research on this, we only had 3 people dedicated to water sewer. And if you looked at the number of people that we hired and had in a revolving door situation, it would astound you, and I have some of those numbers. But we were borrowing from the maintenance crew in order to run our water sewer. So that's why, if you look at those numbers and say, gosh, because that was my first question, is why are our salaries or our wages and benefits up significantly? And it is because we were robbing Peter to pay Paul, if you will. And so we now have 4 drivers, and we have Perry, who is, it's not just about delivering water and sewer either. There's a lot of things that go on, and coordinating that and making sure that the drivers are doing this in an efficient and effective manner is super important, to make sure all those drivers are. And I will tell you that I don't think it's a secret, we start them at $15 an hour, and I would question whether in some way that is appropriate, because of the work that needs to be done. Sorry. Yeah.
I only asked that question because I don't think they make enough.
And that's why I threw it out there, because I looked at it and I will say, folks, I spent time on this at late night last night looking at it, and I went back to 2023. I'll say in 2020, we were hiring people at $10 an hour to do that. There was an increase, because when I looked at everything in 2023, we were hiring on at 15. Here's my question, and this is not for me to decide, but when you look at how many people come and go, and let's face it, picking up someone's sewage is not, a glamorous job, no. And delivering water isn't either, but let's just say if I'm picking one of the two. I don't know anything about it, but I know which one I would pick. So I'm just saying, as an egghead accounting person, I question there are some HR stats out there that say every time you have to retrain a person, the cost to that organization, it's not just your salary, it's phenomenal, the cost to retrain and retrain. So I would, again, we're not here to spend more money than we need to, but if I were the person making recommendations, I would say, let's really look at where we're starting those people and make sure, are we able to get the people and I know we have a small circle to pull from, because people aren't gonna drive from Olathe and Overland Park to come out here and drive trucks. So it's a quandary, right? But I think your question is well placed. And I just, I personally think that we should probably look at somebody doing this manual hard labor in a not great situation. Are we compensating them fairly to get the kind of quality people that we want?
And I do have to say, we did review this quite extensively at the end of last year, and I feel like we're compensating them a little bit more fairly than maybe what they were. We've implemented the 90-day probation period, so they get started off, and after 90 days, they get a review, and they get a fair raise, and then they'll get their raise the beginning of next year. I don't know that that's something that's always happened with our employees, where they've got a consistent annual raise, but we really want to implement that that they're being recognized because they are doing hard work. I wish we could have given a lot of them a lot more money, but we couldn't. I mean, we tried to do the best we could with what we had, and hopefully they're feeling a little bit better about the job that they do and what they're contributing to the community. And then we also try to recognize them other ways throughout the year, so it may not be monetarily, but we do try to.
I personally think it would be a great goal if we could look at how we might be able to better fund that, to make sure that we're getting quality people. And again, it might be just a not talent, but a pool problem where we're saying, we just don't have that many people regardless of what the POAs that are in this circle. I don't know, I'm not doing the hiring, so I don't know. But anyway, that was just my comment, and I totally appreciate your comments, cause I think they're valid. I mean, I guess while I'm standing up here, is there, I don't wanna steal your thunder, because I feel like I do know those numbers very well. I don't know the day-to-day and what happens and what it looks like in the field, but, on the books anyway, is there anybody that had any questions or concerns about those numbers or how we got to where we are? I wanna remind everybody, one thing I do wanna say, cause I wanna remind everybody, cause I know there's been some questions about, well, why does sewer cost more than water? I did a lot of analysis, and I would say that our water costs, when you go to fill at a fill station, it's $12.50, right, Dan? $12.50 a thousand?
Yeah.
And I think that's about what our costs are. I mean, every year it can change because we don't know what we're gonna have to do with the water plant to keep that up and running. But I think that's a pretty break-even cost. When we go to dump, at the lagoons, thank you, we are paying, and listener, no offense, but we're paying $19.58 this year per 1,000 gallons to dump there. There's a lot of things that goes on there, and you know the city has to manage a lot of regulatory things. I'm not citing that, but I'm saying already we've got a differential of $7.02 between our base cost of what the water's costing versus what it costs us to dump. Not to mention that on the sewer we have to drive our trucks over to the city to dump that. So that's more mileage that we're putting on. So to me, to price those two things the same was not, I couldn't find an economic way that should be even. So I just wanted to explain that and why there was a bigger increase on the sewer, because we probably were way behind on where we needed to do that, as painful as that is.
With the increase, are we gonna be making money?
No, and this is the other thing. When you look at these numbers, and we did add in here, we have a loan on our water sewer trucks, that we're paying, principal. The principal goes up a little bit each year as far as what goes towards that, and the interest is already in our profit and loss. So the interest goes against the profit and loss statement, so you'll already see that under vehicles. I just grouped that together. But, when you start looking at, we're paying around $20,000 a year. On top of that, we aren't just losing $32,000. And the other things that we don't even take into consideration, we have office staff that's preparing these tickets and entering the information in the system and recording payments. And we have the wear and tear on our roads, because let's face it, these trucks. Did you guys get ladder trucks? No.
No.
These trucks, they
No.
create wear and tear. You know that, so we have that expense that's added because of the nature of what we're doing. We have insurance costs that we don't separate out by department, so that's not reflecting all the insurance that could go for the workers and for the equipment and for the trucks and all those things. Those are covered as an overhead expense. So when you look at that, that is just, if that was all one separate, department was all they did, the loss would look far greater than that. So, this is just the bare bones before you get to anything else kind of a thing. So I just wanted to bring that up and say, I feel I can stand up here and say to you, I've looked at the numbers. Nobody wants, does anyone want to pay more? Absolutely not. But I do feel it's important that we are trying to do the best to have people consuming these utilities, which is part of our responsibility right now, that they're paying their fair share of that, because we do have roads to maintain. If you said, well, I'm sorry, we can't maintain your roads because we're paying for water, sewer for our, members, that we wouldn't be doing our diligence. So I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I think it's important to point those things out so that people at least understand what went into the decision, and hopefully make you feel at least that somebody was looking at all those numbers and making those considerations. So, okay, thank you.
So when we say in 2025, we lost, or there was a loss of 91,563, that did not include the insurance we pay for the trucks. It did not.
That's right.
Okay, what else did it not include? The insurance we pay for the trucks?
Office
Office
time in
staff,
the office.
Right.
Okay.
the office staff, the leadership that comes from, you know, the maintenance person, the GM, the things that are, that type of leadership that's.
The percentage of insurance.
Right.
that-
The other
that
piece
covers-
that'll never be in there is the number of hires that we made, that didn't make that 90-day cycle. I mean, so that is a cost that.
And there was
we
quite a
won't-
few of those.
We can't calculate, I could get some stats that an HR person would tell you, if you have to, if you have to rehire, because you made a bad hire, it wasn't a good fit, I'm not saying those people aren't good people, but it wasn't a good fit, it's expensive. And now, all of a sudden, we've gotta go back and start over again with a person who may not have, you know, they have to learn us, they have to learn that. Think about if you've never been in the valley before and you need to learn how to drive from A to B to C to D, I mean,
Right.
it's.
Yeah, that's a lot of their hangups right now, is we're working with them on showing them how to get from location to location and memorize.
Well, you talk about too, you informed me, educated me about how, Rhonda, we have places our trucks can't go, we have places they have to go here to get to A to B, and so I think that's important to point out, like, this isn't just, we don't just go willy-nilly, let's drive from, yeah.
Yeah, and each truck's different too, cause I can, me and Perry have worked together, we know what trucks can go in what driveways, what can do what, what's easiest to unload in this spot, which truck to send where.
Most times spend over 911 addresses trying to find them.
Yeah. A lot of times trying to find addresses.
That's the
Yeah.
biggest complaint we get.
And now, you know, how can we help you guys, you know, is there some way we can help you guys with that?
Just
People
make-
need to put their addresses out,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of places that there's not addresses posted.
Well,
The water people have taken down the signs and laid
Or
them on the ground.
that
Yeah,
now
yeah.
too, so.
Yeah,
And our drivers are contending with that also, to maneuver around all of the water project construction that's
Well,
going on.
it was what,
That-
Thursday, I think it was. We had a water delivery, we had to back in a driveway where they'd cut the road, the truck sank, cause they didn't pack it in.
Oh, nice.
So, he had to go from the road and
You didn't
double
text
hose
me
it.
about that.
It was a quick thing, sorry. But no, he ended up stopping out in the middle of the road and running as long as hose as he could to reach it, just so he could get water to him. That's extra time, you know, and if people can check their tanks better. We had 4 2,000-gallon sewers yesterday, and none of them pulled 2,000. So that was a dedicated truck that could have done 2 singles instead of, you know, the 2,000s. But once you pull it up and you get 1,500, well, now you gotta go dump it and go to your next one. So, just,
Sorry to interrupt.
yes, ma'am.
Do we wanna go ahead and move on to late fees?
Sure.
Go for it.
yeah.
Well, let me find the paperwork here.
We did some additional, work on what we're charging for late fees. And I think Dustin's got some numbers to propose to the board so that we can vote on it.
Yeah. Main rule is tickets are supposed to be in by 8 o'clock. So we can get our drivers out the door at 8 and we don't have all these late call-ins. I'm suggesting that we raise, cause it was $10, I think, for a late fee.
Yes.
Yes,
I wanna go from 8 to 11. If you have to have it same day service, we're gonna raise the late fee to $30. Anything after 11, Monday through Friday, if you desperately need same day service because somehow you didn't check it or you overflowed, whatever,
Or the rain filled your sewer
or,
tank.
yeah, that's gonna be $150 per 1,000. Saturday and Sundays, same thing, $150. Cause by the time I pay a driver overtime to go out there on a weekend, we're losing money at this rate. Holidays. I've been called out many holidays, been called away from family, everything else. I say $300 on that per 1,000. I mean, it's everybody's responsibility to check their stuff. It's not our fault that we get called out. So, that's the only way I can think of slowing some of this down.
And we do pay, if you get called in on any of these off-hour times, they do get paid for 4 hours of work as a call-out, so
At
we're
time and a
paid,
half.
yeah, a
Yeah.
time and a half, so,
Yeah, cause I've been up in the
and
city.
double
get called.
time on holidays.
I mean-
And your Deliveries are not guaranteed.
No, they're not guaranteed. Depends on if the driver's available. You know, we all go places on weekends. We don't like to just sit around and hope somebody calls so we can make 4 hours. No, I mean, we wanna be able to enjoy our weekends.
There you go.
We try to have someone on call, but, you know, there have been occasions where that person might be sick. Or they might have a family emergency and have to be called out of town, so. And I've seen comments, you know, does the board get free waters and sewers, or,
No.
I'll tell you right now, the Kyles had to have their sewer pumped last Sunday, because after the rain, our pipe is loose and it took on the rainwater, the groundwater, so I got to pay that $100, so.
Yeah,
My
I
husband's
wasn't
gonna get
slacking
that,
on you.
my husband's gonna get that pipe fixed, so we don't have to pay that fee.
Yeah, I wasn't slacking on you when
No,
you called.
sir.
So-
And I wouldn't have asked for anything either.
One other thing is no one's obligated to use
No.
the water and sewer here. You can haul your own, you can have someone else haul it. I mean, you're not under contract to have, it's a courtesy that the
What are
POA
some of the
offers.
costs you found,
I
Dustin?
made contact with a guy I know that drives for Honeywagon. He pumped 2,800 gallons and charged them $556. He wasn't there 16 minutes. But their disposal fee is $196 also. So, I mean, and they can't just come down and dump in our lagoons. They'd
No.
have to take it to their facility, which then increases their drive time. And even water, there's one person around here that delivers water. His name's the Water Boy. But his truck will not fit in here. It's big tandem axle, 6,000 gallon truck. He will tear up driveways and everything else. And he's not cheap. He's around $300 a thousand. So, I mean, so far, we're still the cheapest around.
Somebody get a side job.
So, yeah, it's not cheap.
Necessity's the mother of invention. Maybe somebody with a truck that wants to bring water to somebody that lives here in the valley could happen. Sewer is another
Yeah.
issue.
Right,
There's a lot that goes, they can't just use our facilities to do it either. I mean,
no.
there's state regulations on that.
Did anybody else have any questions? Is there anything else Dustin can answer for you?
Or at least try.
Or try?
Back there, Mike.
Yes, sir.
Are we thinking about another sewer truck?
We're
That has
thinking
been a
about all sorts of
discussion.
stuff.
Well, when the city turns on this water,
Yeah.
you're gonna get twice as much.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No, we're contemplating that.
Maybe you can get rid of one water truck. What, do you got, 2 water trucks?
2 water trucks and 2 sewer trucks at the moment,
I
yes.
don't think you'll have as many deliveries for water, will you?
We're hoping. We're hoping. Anything else?
Are we making a motion on this rate?
We
Not
will
yet.
later.
We will
Oh, okay.
further down, yeah. Dustin, we can't thank you enough for coming in and
Yep.
presenting
Thank
this
you.
to the community
You're
to
Thanks,
help
Dustin.
You're welcome.
put some facts out there. And Rhonda,
And
for
Rhonda,
all the
yes.
back-end work on all these numbers. I mean, when you talk about asking to volunteer, this is the person on our finance committee that has put in thousands of hours through 2025 to get us where we are today with these reports and these numbers. She worked with every single department supervisor on their budgets individually. The finance committee helped work with her on that. So when you wanna volunteer, sign up for the finance committee, because she also did time in the office and training. We still gotta get SOPs, standard operating procedures, so if you wanna volunteer to come in and sit down and see how somebody does their job and create the SOP, there's plenty to do.
That there is, but, I would just say, I'll say one more thing. Like I said, I can't say enough that when I reach out to people, and again, I'm a volunteer, they could say to me, none of your business, right? Get out of my space. But that's not what happens. Every one of them have been a joy to work with, and I was like probably many people in the community going, well, why do they do that? Well, that doesn't make sense. Well, why can't they do this? And I will tell you that I have been educated, and they're willing to educate me, and not in a mean way. When I ask questions, I get answers, and I just want to say, I mean, that Dustin, having you in the role you're in is a breath of fresh air, and I've enjoyed you educating me and working on things, and so I just wanna say, I have a much greater appreciation for what goes into this complicated, community, that we have, but it's worth working for, and it's worth fighting for, so I just wanna say, thank you to all you guys that are out there every day putting boots on the ground, cause it is not an easy task, so thank you.
Terry, treasurer's report, please.
Yeah, so I also read everything on Facebook, and, I'm not gonna jump on there and answer and get myself thrown to the wolves, but you guys, if you wanna talk to the board and you wanna ask something, feel free to email Pam and Brenda first and ask them your questions. If they can't get answers and help clarify something for you, they will gladly set up a meeting with the board. We are all here, all through 2025 on the budget, how much money was being spent. Every month, I told you, call, ask, I'll sit down, I'll open the books up, I'll show you line by line every invoice that was entered under every single code. That's not changing, it's still here, it's still available. Last month, I invited everybody to stay for the budget meeting. I opened up the budget, all the work that they had put in to recommend their budgets. We showed it, every one of them were here to answer your questions and to explain line by line what was in their budget and why it needed to be there.
5 people stayed.
Yeah, nobody stayed. And then you wanna go on Facebook and you wanna say that we're
Well, it's
not
not a
showing
matter of-
where your money is, we're hiding things, we're taking advantage of
Well,
things.
and it's not even a matter of staying, it's a matter of showing up to start with.
Yeah, and we're not. It's here, it's open, it's here. I don't know what else we can tell you guys. If you wanna know something, just come and ask. We are not providing ourselves any benefits. We are all putting in time for free. The volunteers, are putting time in for free. If you wanna complain about something and you're not stepping up to help, then please don't complain, because you didn't do anything on your part to find out the facts and to offer any support for it. If you've got a better way for Dustin to run his routes, call up Pam and say, Pam, I wanna sit down with you and Dustin. I know this place like the back of my hand. I can give you a better routing system. I can give you some software that'll help that. Whatever you wanna do, don't just sit back and complain to us all the time. It's not fair. It's just totally unfair to us. If you don't like us, that's fine. Don't like us. Don't vote for us.
It's not a popularity
But,
contest.
yes.
We don't.
We are here truly trying to work with the community and with every single department and every single employee to make this community work. We're all investors as property owners. Our books that we show to you are based on you approving them, Are we gonna make a final decision on Dustin's increase rates or Katie's rates? Or, yes, we are, but we've welcomed you to give your opinion on it, and you've heard their recommendations. Rhonda has spent so many hours providing this backup data for us to be able to make these educated decisions. I mean, if you wanna help, step up. You wanna see the books, step up, That's my spiel for that part of it. I've really been upset about it, and I don't wanna post on Facebook because y'all get pretty ugly for those of you that do it. It's just not fair, Don't like us, don't cuss at us, show up. That's the best I can tell you. For our financials, we are still needing to make some accruals because I want the financials posted on an accrual basis because that's how my accounting brain works. And so you have an income statement and a balance sheet. We still need to look at what was coded in January that was really expensed in December and make those entries to get them off of 2026 and into 2025. I haven't been able to have the time because I'm super busy with my job. They've been super busy trying to do other things, so we still need to work that out. The same for January. Anything that's posted in February that's supposed to hit January, I need to make those entries for accruals to clean those up. So these are what Rhonda referred to as a preliminary. Next week when we do our annual budget meeting, it is my goal to have these done Like she said, the audit was done for 2023. There'll be another audit in 2026 moving forward. We will have that information to provide to everybody from the audit from 2023, and so you'll have an idea what that looks like moving forward. It won't be missed moving forward. We're working diligently with CPAs to make sure all of the bookkeeping is done right, the audits are done, to present back to us as investors in this community. As far as the budget, there's a copy of it in here. Rhonda put together a summary sheet, so you can see that on page 7 of 12. That's the basic summary sheet for this. One other thing I just kind of want to say is the things that we did in 2025, Robin put an enormous amount of time in to create the budget, even though we weren't able to convert it into QuickBooks to do budget versus actuals because of the coding variations that we ran into. We still had quite a bit of cash left at the end of 2026, thanks to the volunteers that helped us build the new mailbox shelter and docks and everything else. We didn't want to spend money from that budget with us not being part of building that budget and not knowing what other things come up. In prior years, everybody's like, well, where's all our money going? You know, the community center's falling down, the mailbox was falling down, the beach is rotting away, we got drainage problems, where's all of our money going? So she had money in there for capital improvements, but we held off on actually spending a lot of that money because clearly something was coming up somewhere that was spending that money. So we found out we were cautious going through the year. We only did what we felt was needed to be done. So going into 2026's budget, we've got some leftover cash flow that we can spend on improvements. And Rhonda's been able to diligently work through this budget. As you can see, she's got our total net income as a profit of $725,000. That's a lot of money that we can put back into this community to rebuild things and to get things improved, to show you where your assessments are going and that we are being careful with your money. As far as what we are guaranteeing that we want this money spent on, we're looking at $564,000. And we have a list of these capital improvements, and if you were here for the budget meeting, you would have seen these and we would have talked about them. So everything that's in red is what we are hoping to stay within budget and to definitely get done this year. And I don't think I printed this out anywhere, but
It's up on the screen.
yeah, it's on the screen. We'll provide it to anybody that wants it. I'll try to get it posted when we post the budget up there.
We also need to, if you can get me copies of what you want handed out at the annual
Next
meeting.
Yeah, absolutely.
'Cause
Yeah.
we do
This'll
usually
be
put
part of
stuff
it.
in there.
Once the budget's voted on, we're committing to doing these things in red. Everything else is, let's see where the money goes, and hopefully we can get some more things done. But you can see one of our big things we want to do is right here on the community center and the bathhouse. We want to get this thing renovated. That's $130,000 based on an estimate. We don't have flat bids for everything yet. So again, if there's certain things that people can donate time to help save some of this money, if you're, can do siding, drywall, windows, caulking, paint, whatever it is, that's what we're still looking for to help us save money within the community. We want to upgrade the laundry facility. We want to expand it. We got this great idea that they've worked up on how to remodel the inside to move the fitness center and expand the laundry room and make the offices look better. Mailboxes, we've already completed this part with this money, I believe.
Pam, new mailbox has been ordered.
No, because that's in the budget
It's-
and you
Oh,
haven't
yeah.
approved the budget.
But that's the
That's right.
7,700, right?
Okay.
That's what we've got the 7,700 for, is
Yes,
just
yes, new
mailboxes?
boxes.
Okay, all right. The new iLock system, we had the guys come out a few months ago and present the pass system. I am 100% for this. The other board members still want to do more work on it, but this would stop people who aren't current on their assessments from accessing our amenities. We want to put a fence up around the community center once it's done, so you would have to have access for the bathrooms, the laundry room, the pool, the fitness center. is not just open willy-nilly. Passes, codes on the gates here, you know, so just like if you're in an HOA at home in a new community, it's got a pool, you gotta have a fob to get in. The difference between what this system does and that system is there's a monthly fee to use that. It's like $2 a person or $18 a year per user for the app. So that's what we're working through. We don't wanna throw more expenses at the community, but we don't want the assessments to cover that. We need to make sure that we're moving smart with this. So it's in here, but it's not committed to. And Julie also is working with DH Pace, the current gate provider, to see what they have because she had gotten bids before from them. But we need to do something to improve that we're securing our amenities better for those people that are not paying. We want to put some more gravel up in the RV lot. We need to get the cameras for the RV lot. There was some playground equipment thrown around. That's not committed, but it's in here. Picnic tables, new teeth for the exit gate. This is where we're talking with Dustin about the bucket truck, getting that in there. We want to commit to that.
The bucket,
What?
I was just
The
thinking.
lift truck?
Yeah, no,
A lift
the
inside.
bucket,
Lift.
does the bucket truck, does that need to be put on surplus? Can it be put on surplus? Is
Yeah.
it worth, maybe
Yeah.
somebody could use some parts off of it or something?
I say we should.
Okay, well, we'll have to vote on that then.
The pool, we've already pretty much committed to this. We paid a little bit of this 119, right, last year, didn't we pay
A deposit.
the deposit down? This 119 was
yes.
the total bid, so
That's
we don't
total
need all
out
of
of
that
pocket.
cash, some of that's already been done.
No, that
No,
is total out of pocket.
this is what we owe out of
finished
pocket for
product.
2026,
Yes, yes.
okay. So that's $126,000 to finish getting the main pool done. There was a request for some water plant, water sewer equipment, a vacuum pump and some truck tires for some backup. So we're putting that in there, you know, trying to not wait till something breaks down, but to be proactive. We're putting some money in there for Katie to go get some golf carts. Andrew had asked for a new mower to help down at the golf course. He asked to have some cart path areas fixed. So we're not committing to a specific type of work, but we're committing to an amount to put in there for them to work on that, to then come back to present to the community once they get going with that. The Lake and Wildlife Committee, they want to do some aeration on the 10-acre lake, some swim dock improvements. You've got the main lake rehabilitation, the spillway. This is a big one because we have to pay this money up front, and then we can send it in to the state to get a cost share reimbursement. But you have to have this $146,000 in the bank to pay before you can get back this money that comes back, and we're not even sure when that comes back. And then you've got the monthly payments that we have for our loans. Annual, yeah. This is a one-time payment for the year. I believe the 2016 road project will be paid off this year, isn't that right? From our finance committee meeting when we looked at that, we're gonna pay that off in full. So I might be off a little bit on that number. I need to make sure that we have the final. The road project from 2023 is at 8.5% interest, and there's like a, what was that balance, 200,000, something like that still on
And
that?
I think when we looked at, if we paid it off, we would save over the remaining years
Yeah.
over $50,000
Yeah.
if we paid that off this year, and I think that, I'm recommending
Yeah.
that be a goal for
Yes.
Yep.
the board.
So, on our wish list that we're trying to commit to, we're at 564,000 that we're gonna take away from this net income of 725. So that would leave us at a net income of 161, but we still have our $500,000 from 2025 that carried over. So, cash flow wise, we're still looking good, and by making these specific improvements in 2025, that opens up 2027
For roads.
for road improvements, whatever that's gonna be, and any of these things that are in black that we didn't commit to. So it helps us build up that 3 to 5 year plan on moving forward. So we really hope that everybody in the community, not just in this room, but anybody that comes back and watches the meeting or you have conversations with people outside of this room, you can see that we're being fair, honest, and upfront and very transparent with everybody on what we're doing. We're not hiding anything. We're not making,
Money in the-
decisions behind your back.
We're not laundering
we're not,
money.
We're not graveling putting chip and seal on our own driveway roads. None of that is happening. So we still welcome questions. We are going to be voting on our budget at the end of this meeting. So if anybody has any questions about the capital improvement parts, we're welcome to talk about them. These were all recommendations that came from the board, from the departments themselves, through them presenting their budgets. So anybody have any questions on this part? Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I know why, but can you
We
explain to
need
the
a-
community why you need that $50,000 worth of gravel up there?
Yeah, so the RV lot. Go ahead, Julie.
The question is, why do we need $50,000 worth of gravel at the RV lot? If you go up to the RV lot, or if you park your RV up there, you will see that a lot of it is not gravel. Well, it's grass, and there's mud when it rains. And if it rains a lot, there's a lot of mud. As a matter of fact, I slipped and fell and hurt myself out there in the mud, which I should have known better, but it happened. Campers sink in the mud. They sit there all winter long. The longer they sit there, the more moisture there is, the more they sink. We would just like to see gravel throughout the whole lot, so nobody's sinking their vehicles in, not only their RVs, but their vehicles. We've had people that have had to have their cars towed out, and it cost them $185. Nobody wants that. We charge to park in the RV lot. The RV lot went many, many years with people being charged and no improvements out there. We actually, as we looked at the budget, and the logistics of it all, we're probably gonna split that 50,000 into 2 different years and do half of it this year, half of it next year. That's kind of our plans and our thinking behind our RV lot. It's an amenity that people pay for. Let's try to at least make it a little bit more user-friendly because it's been neglected for quite a few years.
The other side of that also is, the lot, obviously deferred maintenance, it's gone a long time without improvement. And it's only partially full, so if it's improved greatly, there's a reasonable chance that more people would park their camper in there who won't now because it's not very good. So we would get revenue in return as a result of improving that lot.
But probably not a lot. We charge $200 a year to park in there starting this year. I mean, you're not gonna make a killing on $200 a year.
And what is there, like less than 40 people that park over there right
There's
now?
more than that.
Oh, yeah.
I believe it's something like 80 to
Oh.
80,
Okay.
80
Yeah.
to maybe
Okay.
90. We're not at capacity. Is it
Far from.
150?
Oh, yeah.
It's far from capacity.
Yes.
Okay.
Mike, did that answer your question?
Oh, I
Did,
need
did we provide the correct information to the community?
I just had a question on the cameras, I noticed out there, when are those gonna be implemented, do you have any idea?
As soon as we can get to it. We're really
what?
trying. The cameras at the RV storage lot.
Yeah, so it's part of our CapEx budget, so we gotta vote on our budget, and then we can start spending the money.
And I have to admit, Pam and I have been trying to get together to work on this, but throughout the past 6, 7, 8 months, we've had way bigger fish to fry. There's gonna be a lot of cameras going up and amenities throughout Lynn Valley Lakes this year. I think we kind of budgeted for 8 to 10 cameras maybe for different locations.
So it's a whole system going in, not just a lot?
It's not really a system, but it's gonna be
Right.
so that we can watch our amenities a little bit better. Outside the front bathhouse, the pool, we wanna make sure that we stay on top of what we fixed. Because we can't, we don't want kids going in and smearing stuff all over or adults or whoever does it, but smearing stuff all over the walls in the bathhouses. And if we could try to, kind of see who's going in and out of these and narrow it down to hopefully a time frame. Maybe we can,
And that'll help with our, if we implement the iLock system too, we can put those fobs on the bathroom doors too, so people have to use their access to get in it, whichever system we go with. So we'll know when people have been going in there. If somebody comes in and they see it like that, then we can go back and look to see who went in there before them. So are we good with this part? Everybody good? So Rhonda,
Mike?
what, go ahead.
Sorry, I got one more question. About the iLock system, is that
Yep.
what it's called? You guys aren't planning on doing that at the boat ramp, are you?
No,
Okay.
not at this time.
Could that make a hell of a mess?
yeah, no.
Yeah.
It's an amenity like anything else, it should be.
So with that all being said, our financials this year, we will have budget versus actuals. We will be able to present comparisons, and my hopes and goals are that every quarter, each department head will come in and go through their monthly, quarterly budget with you and explain any variances, or at least explain where they spent their money at. So once the budget is fully approved, we'll make sure all of the budget numbers are in here. And I believe we gave a copy of this in the financials, right? Did we give a copy of this? The budget versus actual for January?
For January, I thought I saw
Or
it.
did I just do a January?
I
No,
think we
I don't think I did
just
the.
did a January
Yeah, we just did a
preliminary,
January, yeah.
because
So,
we do have some.
yeah, so if you can see the screen, you can see the actual versus budget with our variance over and unders moving forward. So I hope that will help people as well when they're reviewing financials, and to be able to ask questions on where did money come from. But we're hoping that you are better informed going into the budget this year, that you will understand where money is spent at, and unless there's a huge variance of an overage, where they spent more than what they were supposed to, those would be the kind of answers that they're gonna present without us having to ask. You have the balance sheet, you have the January income statement, and I also gave you guys a printout, I think starting on page 8 of the monthly budget combined. So it's not by department, it's just the average budget combined. I think Rhonda is going to do a little more in-depth conversations on the budget because she put in all the hard work. I don't want to steal the glory of what she gets to talk about, but again, Finance Committee, she wants to step down as the main role if somebody else wants to step up. She's put in all the hard work this past year to get us where we're at now, so moving forward, it would be somebody really helping to maintain what she's already implemented for us. And I think that's all I have. I've rattled long enough. Does anybody have any other kinds of questions? All right, I'm done. Thank you.
Standing committee reports, Architectural Control Committee, Dennis.
Good morning. Our first meeting for February was a week ago Tuesday. We had, I believe, 4 permits from the city. We wrote 1 stop work order for an oversized skid shed. If anyone saw the last city council meeting, they are looking at how they assess what a skid shed is versus accessory building. Right now, their ordinances do not specify anything toward a skid shed. It's not listed anywhere in there. So POA does separate these out, so we are in disagreement there at some points. So they're looking at that and trying to evaluate how to move forward there, what I think is a good thing. So for those that don't know what Architectural Control Committee, we review all the building permits that are issued by the city to make sure they fall within the POA guidelines, bylaws and covenants and so forth, to make sure that, you know, we have a little more strict guidelines than what the city provides. So that's our job, is that. We have our last meeting for February, and for this fiscal year, committee members is coming up on this Tuesday, and then we will need new committee members. Looking for volunteers, you need some. I know of 2 of the members are stepping down. One of them is me. I have been a property owner since 2015, full-time since 2018, and for most of that, I've been on this committee and chaired it, so. Moving on, and got other things that planned in my future. So we're gonna need people, volunteers to step up. This is important to make sure that things that are being built and brought in here follow the guidelines of what is set forth by all the property owners and feel that way. So.
Thank you, Dennis.
Thanks.
Thank
Thank
you. Ron, is Ron here? I guess we had a pretty good discussion with Katie about the golf committee, so I don't know if there's anything to add to that. Right?
Yeah, a couple things.
Okay, sorry, Dan.
Few things that Ron wanted me to talk about. They're working on putting together a monument. It's probably gonna be a bench down at the golf course to represent Beverly Griffin. The POA plans to get involved in that to some degree. They've already got several donations from golfers and other people down at Deer Trace. Some thought behind why the yearly membership dues were not raised for members of Lynn Valley. The yearly membership right now stands at 77. There's not very many. So however much money you raise it by, you're only gonna be able to multiply that by 77. It's not gonna make us in the black by any reason, by any measure. In order to raise it to, some people thought, say $1,100, still not gonna get us there. All it's gonna do is make that 77 number more look like 43. So what our intent is to do is to make that 77 number look more like 120. And right now, the information that we're gleaning from reputable sources is that several of the people that came down here a lot last year that weren't members were, because of the price that we had it at, felt like it was beneficial for them to become members, and they would save money over coming down, paying the non-member rate. So that was the idea behind it. We all want to make the golf course as profitable as possible, but we don't feel as though raising the rates and putting it all on the shoulders of the members is necessarily a fair way to go about doing that. So that was the thinking behind that. We've always kind of raised them a little bit here and there. We just decided not to do that. It wasn't gonna really make a whole lot of difference, and we were trying to recoup some of these people that have been coming down here. A lot of the process of getting people to come down here is, and then the factors of how much we should charge people that aren't members to come down here, and in wanting to increase that number of people to come down here. Most of it's never taken into consideration the amount of gas they have to spend to come down here, and that's kind of a deal breaker too. So this is the thought behind what we've decided to do this year, and so not trying to put it up to any big debate, but I just thought we could be just trying to be transparent about how that worked. So Katie, doing a great job. Of course, Andrew and Pam's leadership, I think that we're in a good position to, increase revenue down there this year. That with the restaurant we have down there now, good deal. So it's gonna entice more people to want to come down here because golfers get hungry. And so that's a good deal. Well, that's all I got. Ron has suggested that perhaps he was going to no longer be the head of the golf committee, so that would be something else we'll have to tackle. He's done it for quite a long time, so he's just moving on.
Recreation Committee, Lindsay.
Alrighty, so we have actually a big event tonight. We're gonna give it a go and see if we can do some more for other people in our community if needed. We have spaghetti night, there's gonna be a movie playing, and we're also gonna have a silent auction, and this will all benefit Wayne and his family during his time. His daughter, I've been talking to her, and he wishes he could be here, but he needs to just stay there right now. Some of the things that are on the auction, Ford has donated a oil change, tire rotation, and a detail. There's a Scentsy basket. The golf course has donated some rounds of golf. The Hideout in Drexel donated a $100 gift card. What else? There's a cabin rental. There's a bunch of stuff. I don't even know what it all is. So it will
Kevin
be.
Muma was kind of.
Yes, he was in charge of
that.
this. So we will start serving dinner at 6 p.m. and we'll start the movie at 6:30. So it is kid related, but we have to go with them. So stay tuned to Facebook for events that are coming up. We are kicking off. Easter will be the next big thing that we will do. And if you guys would like to volunteer, you can get with me, and we will just start a group that if we need people. So yeah, that's about it. Any questions?
Are the Easter eggs full?
Not yet.
I'll take a box.
Okay. I will work on that once I get this all done.
Right.
So, but sure.
Okay.
Alrighty. Any questions? All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Lindsay.
You're welcome.
Rhonda Keegan, Finance.
Well, if you're not already sick of me, I will stand up here and talk just a little bit. Finance Committee, we did, part of the major role of the Finance Committee is to review the budget and to make recommendations. And so we did meet in early February, and the committee, along with our treasurer, Terry, went through the budget line item by line item and really reviewed that, and we came up with a few areas that we needed to tweak on that, so that was helpful in getting us to the stage of where we are today. As Terry mentioned, one of the great things that we now have, because we have been on our current accounting system for a year, is we will now have the benefit of comparing our numbers to last year. So as we start publishing things, you'll start to see where we measure in terms of where we were last year. On I think a good note, looking at our, if you can say something nice about our receivables, we do have a big outstanding receivable balance. I will say that. That's not the good news. But with the work that we did with our demand letters and what we're going forward with the lien project in conjunction with the real estate committee, I feel like we're making some strides in collections. When I looked at collections last night and just kind of comparing to where we were this time last year, and I believe that we have something that I don't believe a check that we received this week has been deposited yet. It's not part of this.
Has not been.
So, where we are right now is we're up 66,000 from where we were the same day last year, looking at last night, but we have another 90,000 that we are going to be adding to that number, and we have commitments on probably another 50,000.
Yes.
Of people who had received their demand letter and have posed a, hey, I'm having a hardship, what can I do? I want to keep my property. And so, the board member that's working on that, we're all working together to say, hey, we want to keep people here. If they can pay that bill and we can get them caught up, wouldn't we rather do that than end up owning the property or not being, so I think that that's been really well received, and I think people are appreciating the fact that we're trying to help them get to the point where they want to be and then become regular paying, members. So that's what we all want here. We have also collected, of the number that I was talking about 91,000 of that is collections from previous years, so from 25 and previous. Interest is another thing I just wanted to bring up. Our bylaws do say that if you're behind, that you would be subject to a 6% per annum interest. And so we've never really executed that. and we are starting to do that. And I will say, year-to-date, we've got $558, but we've got a lot more coming in on that. And I think you will see, not because we want you to pay your bills, right? So we can get your money and we'll just, you know, do it up front. But for those who haven't, that is part of what our bylaws state we can do, and I think it's important that we do that to protect all of us as members, to make sure that we have the funds we need to operate the community. So stay tuned for that. Year-to-date in payments, I was just looking at people who paid on dues. It's sitting at about $910,000, and we've got, this is what's amazing, 3,230 transactions. So we don't get one payment per month per lot, per year per lot. A lot of these are monthly payments, quarterly payments, so there's a lot of transactions that, you know, our office is affecting, and so I just wanted to bring that up. Terry may have mentioned this, but year-to-date, or currently in our operating accounts, this would be our operating account, this would be our money market at Labette, our Square account where our golf things are running through, and First Option Bank. We're at $1,039,000 as of last night, and that does not include the Edward Jones. So that gets, with Edward Jones, $300,000. That gets us at 1.339. So we're looking in a positive cash flow. I mean, while we care about our profit and loss, we're more interested in, but what do we have in the bank? And so one of the things that we don't really recognize on our profit and loss is what's called depreciation expense. And I don't want to, you know, bore people who aren't accounting people. But when we make capital purchases, those capital items or assets depreciate on an annual basis. So when we go out and we buy one of these capital budget items, it's not going to show up in our profit and loss. It's going to show up over here as an asset to our balance sheet. Our bank account is decreased. But we really should be recognizing, to get a full view of our accounting, what our annual depreciation expenses are. So that is something that, as we work through next year, just on the good news, I think we may have somebody who's interested in chairing the finance committee, so we'll see how that, I don't want to speak to it, but we'll see how that works out. But I think we'll know something this week. But that is not to discourage anybody. If anybody has experience in that area, I plan to stay involved. I just think it would be great to give somebody else an opportunity to chair that this year. So that's kind of my report for right now. Does anybody have, I'm sure you don't, questions because you're all saturated. But thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank
Rhonda,
you.
for everything.
Brett is here to talk on behalf of Lake Management.
Okay, so I'm here filling in for Doug today. I'll keep it pretty short and sweet because I don't know all the details that Doug knows. The aeration system for paddle boat resumes in March for the install, and Evergy is starting with the power pole there in March as well. We are enlisting and reaching out for additional committee members, as we are having the turnover happen of people kind of starting to want to enjoy their retirement. And then we're working with the city on some rock right now in order to get for erosion control and some different things around the lakes and for dam repair. So outside of that, if there's any question, well, actually throw this out too. Our hearts are with Wayne. He is our board liaison, so not having him here for this does also kind of hurt us a little bit as well. So if there's any questions with that, I can take them and relay them to Doug. I might be able to answer some of them, but I'll leave the floor open to you guys.
Mike.
You guys got a hold of Henninger about the rock?
I do believe they have. They're just working on some permits and some different things right now to make sure that we can clear it and everything be legal and good. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Greg is not here for the real estate committee. He, I believe, is also going to be leaving the committee, so please volunteer. Lots of different interests, lots of different opportunities in these different committees that we have. If, you know, something piques your interest, please sign up.
Okay, so I'm the liaison for the real estate committee, and I just want to say a huge shout out to the committee for their work in creating a workable process to recover these past dues. A special thanks to Doug Liljegren and Rhonda Keegan for working to implement that plan that was created by the Real Estate Committee. And as a result of the letters and the actions that have been taken, as a result of all that hard work of the group of volunteers, so far, it's resulted in, we've collected over $100,000 in past dues and have commitments for another $50,000 in past dues where we're arranging for payments. We've also had over 20 lots where owners have agreed to return the lot to the POA. So it's really showing benefit.
Any questions? Okay. You guys, I'm not gonna bore you with all the repairs and deferred maintenance details. Nothing really has changed a lot on that. Some numbers maybe have changed a little bit, but we keep plugging along, trying to get things done around here. Upcoming payments, sewer truck loan, swimming pool and chlorine feeder. On January 19th, we met with the city and discussed a little bit about the POA hold and haul water, the expected decommission of the water plant. They requested a list of the camping, building, and multi-purpose lots. And then we also discussed the tiny homes on the camping multi-purpose lots. I know our covenant states 600 square feet. We did talk to our attorney, who will be here at the annual meeting. If any of you have any questions you want to, ask him or address with him. He suggested that if the community would be okay with it, we pick a camping street or streets or section that possibly we would say, okay, we'll allow tiny houses here as a trial, just to see what they look like, how they turn out. They'd be built to the same specifications as a regular home of 600 or 1,000 or 2,000 square feet. They would not be on wheels. They would have to have a permanent foundation. 200 to 600 square feet. So that's something that we're discussing with the city. I put a poll out, damned if I do, damned if I don't. But yeah, I put a poll out, just kind of see what the community thinks. If you have feedback on it, please let us know. Because I think, the city would maybe kind of like to, explore it more. We'd like to explore it more and work together to come to a conclusion on what we want to do. So let us know if you have any thoughts on it. Edward Jones CD. Well, no, it's Edward Jones. It's a TTOXX. Federated Government bond is paying, it's a mutual fund, it's paying 3.53. That does fluctuate monthly. The balance in that's $146,650. We have a 3-month CD that we discussed at the last meeting, I guess. It was approved for 3.65 when I called to place the order. He actually could get us a rate at 3.75. So I placed the order for $160,000. That matures on March or April 29th, and then we will have to revote on what we're going to do with that money. Farmland lease, Pam?
Well, Dennis
Pam and I,
just came over.
Okay.
right, Pam and I had discussed that.
Sorry.
And we're going to, the existing, the leaseholder that had it previously, has stated that he would like to continue to lease it, and so we will, finalize the lease with him.
How many years? You had said raise it 500, but how many years?
Was the existing lease 5-year?
I can't remember what I wrote
I think
down.
I would say 5 year
Okay.
is probably a good, because obviously when you're farming grounds, you don't want a year by year lease, because you want to be able to continue to improve
Right.
that ground for your use. So I suspect we'll probably go, assuming that he's good with that, another 5
Okay.
year.
Somebody want to make a motion?
Yeah,
to-
we need a motion.
Okay, I would, motion that we, re-sign with the existing owner at a slightly higher, in the past it was 4,000.
4,100.
And so we're gonna raise it to 4,500, on a 5-year lease, per year.
It's 4,100 now, it'll be 4,600.
Okay, 4,600 per year on a 5-year lease.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. I didn't say aye. I'm not opposed. I'm in favor. I didn't say aye. 2026 budget. Board members, do you have any questions on the budget?
I think the only thing that I have a question on is the legal piece. I think we need to increase that because we've still got some court cases going on, and I wanna make sure that we've got enough money in that line item to cover it. I think right now, and Rhonda, if you could just help me verify which line item this is going in.
Yeah, and I don't have this in front of me, but so we did plug in some money as it related to okay, if you go down to legal filing fees, that includes 60,000 for legal fees tied to liens, foreclosures, and et cetera.
Okay.
So there is 60,000 in legal fees included there.
But we think we need, what did we say, at least another,
I'd like to raise the
So this-
24,000 for legal fees. I'd like to raise that $60,000.
raise it, add 60 or to 60?
Add 60,000.
And this is for the court cases and things like that that we have to pay, and for our HOA attorney that will be here next week, for our annual meeting, all of the help he provides when we get questions from outside from members. We have to
Litigation.
refer to him for clarification and stuff. I just think that we need more money in this.
And also for
The real estate.
any foreclosure actions.
Well,
that
that's
would-
what
that's
Rhonda's
in the
got down
title
here.
I
deed.
This
already
line
have
item.
it in
Yeah.
the
Okay.
legal filing
Yeah.
fees.
This HOA legal is
I-
not part of the liens and the filing fees and
Right.
the property
It's
assessments
it's
and stuff like that.
litigation and just
Yeah.
standard HOA,
Yeah.
running the HOA. I'd like to say that
Should
when
that
we
be
come out of
changed to
this.
POA? Sorry, we are a property owners association.
POA.
Yeah, I guess
Sorry.
you'd be correct.
I would like to have this money in the account saved back and not use it than to not have the money
Right.
and have to find it. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. I would like to think, hopefully, I would like to think we're done this year spending money on attorneys. I know that's pie in the sky hope and a dream, but I'd rather have the money there earmarked for it than to not have it.
I don't think this is gonna calculate out correctly, but we're gonna take away $60,000 from this number. Right, 60,000 is what we're putting on there.
60,000, so it'd be
Is that right?
84. Well, she's working on this.
Yeah, we're
Does
good.
anybody from the community have any questions before we vote on the budget? Any comments? Somebody like to make a motion?
I would motion that we approve the 2026 budget.
I'll second the emotion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The 2019 articulating pull behind lift, we tabled that from last month. The bucket truck will be put to rest. We will be putting it on a surplus list to get rid of it. I guess it served its time. Dustin came across what we believe is to be the same lift we were looking at. It's on Purple Wave, which is a auction
Online
site.
auction site.
And we discussed if we wanted to go ahead and bid on the lift that's on there. I think he's gonna get a little bit more information on it. The bids close on the 26th. Board, I'd like to,
Well, we've approved it through the CapEx budget.
it is approved in the, okay, it's approved through the CapEx budget, but we just wanna let you know that, Dustin, we give you permission to bid on that piece of equipment up to $20,000. If you could find out maybe from Gherkin if it's the same one?
Yeah.
Because we do have the hours on that original one we looked at, and if not, can you get the hours and just double check it?
I think it's listed on the site,
Yeah.
pictures, and it's got the hours on it.
Okay, okay. So that, you can go ahead and bid on that up to 20,000.
Okay.
The turfware piece of equipment at this time, this is one of these things that we don't see as a real, big priority. We are going to go ahead and, remove this from the, agenda, and we will review this later in the year when we see, where our budget's going, how much money that we have, how much money we collect, maybe from all these assessments and everything. So we just want to hold off on doing anything with that at this time. So I will be removing that from the agenda. The dog park, we're gonna go ahead and table that. I'm gonna remove this from the agenda. That would also be a fall project for our volunteers. I, thought I had a great idea, and I was gonna go to the city and ask to see if we could get some help, but I had a spot picked out up front, and I thought we could maybe work it out with the city where they could have an entrance into use the dog park, we could use the dog park, and I talked to Pam,
Sorry.
and Pam went, no, that's where the ambulance, or the air ambulance lands.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, so that kinda
Justin,
squashed
you're on the fire
that.
department.
So much going on.
I know.
Then, somebody from the
Scary.
community also sent over a note, asking us to check into the Kansas Community Empowerment Program. They offer grants. I did contact the person that runs the program. Every July, you get to sign up for the program. You make a commitment that you're gonna do so many projects throughout the year and other commitments, and with that, you can apply for a grant and possibly get some money for it. I didn't realize this when I first put this on here, that there was a lot more commitments than what I expected. I was hoping we could just apply for the grant, silly me, but no, they have a whole lot more expectations than that. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove this. This is another one of those projects we're going to review, later in the year, more toward fall. And maybe we can still figure something out with the city so that we can maybe share a dog park or something. But I'll investigate into that more, and hopefully we can make that a volunteer project. So I will be removing it from the agenda. 2026 ballot counting committee.
We have had 5 people volunteer to serve on the committee. They are Vester Gillette, Lindsay Hammonds, Kimberly Potter, Jenny Schooler, and Rick Ward. And we would need the vote.
I make a motion to nominate those people for the ballot counting committee.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And I will be contacting those individuals probably Monday, because they will need to be
Yeah.
getting in there and getting to counting.
Dustin proposed to us water sewer late fees, with it being Monday through Friday between 8 AM and 11 AM. If you send a ticket in for same-day delivery, it'd be $30. Monday through Friday after 11 AM, same-day delivery would be $150. Saturday through Sunday, it'd be $150. He said per 1,000 gallons. I would recommend that we do it per delivery instead of breaking it down to how much
flat
they
rate.
get, just make it a flat rate delivery fee. Holiday, New Year's, Memorial Day, Independence Day, Labor Day, Thanksgiving Day, and Christmas Day would be $300 for delivery, and that would again be a flat delivery fee, not per 1,000 gallons. If they order 2,000 gallons, it's a flat
Still the
delivery fee.
same.
It's the same.
Yeah, there's no
It's the
variation.
same.
Okay.
Because basically this is to cover overtime, we're paying for 4 hours of overtime, so to take another 1,000 gallons shouldn't make that big of a deal, because we're paying for 4 hours anyway. So, board, I'd like to,
I'm gonna see if anybody has questions.
oh, does anybody have a question about that?
Or comments about it, because he was wanting to do it for 1,000 gallons and we're doing it as a flat rate.
That's a fee on top of the
On
water
top of
cost.
what the
In
water
addition
costs.
to the water
Correct.
cost, it is a
Correct.
delivery fee, yes.
And Pam, do you have any questions?
No, I wasn't understanding it that way. That's fine.
Yeah, so
Because
you'll
I
pay
was-
for the water,
Well, you
the
guys are
regular
being
price for the
nice.
water, and then you have to pay for a delivery fee
Okay.
Right.
as a flat rate, not per 1,000 gallons.
And is
We
it
should
per
state
water?
that today, that is not the case, so just so you guys know, today.
Yeah, today
The
it's,
$100
So you need to
includes
make sure you
the
put
water, or includes
plus-
the base service
plus
cost, so
the-
just so you're
the
clear.
cost of-
Yeah,
Okay.
no, this is in addition to the base water fee.
and this will go in, we're wanting this to
This-
go into effect
April
April 1st.
Yes.
Okay, so again, these are for people after hours and holidays. This isn't your normal Monday through Friday unless you don't have your ticket in before 8 o'clock.
Water
Anybody?
and sewer.
Water and sewer,
Correct.
yeah.
Okay.
And so if they order 1,000 gallons of water and 1,000 gallons of sewer, it's still just the one flat rate fee.
That
Those
would-
are two different trucks.
That's
Yeah, they're two different
Yeah, they're two different
Yeah,
tracks,
but
I
we
think.
didn't write it out that way.
That's two different
I thought
deliveries.
that's how we had it.
No, we didn't write it out because
Yeah,
we
I
were
mean, but-
including it as
Anything
both.
else written out?
But we'd have to get two people out to do that. I don't see how we could.
Or even if one person goes out there still.
Goes out once, comes back, does the other one.
Both of our drivers are different trucks.
Oh, they could do both?
They're trained
Yeah.
on both, right?
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
What are your guys' thoughts? Do you feel like it should be per water or per sewer, or just the flat fee if they
For a
order both?
delivery.
I've never come across where we've had to do water and sewer at the same
No,
house
never.
On a,
call or weekend call.
No, I think
It's
So-
such a rare occurrence
yeah,
that,
it doesn't happen that often.
yeah.
Pam, okay?
Community?
Everybody else feel comfortable with the flat rate fee? Yeah, nobody? Okay. I make a motion that we increase the rates for the after hours and holiday rates for delivery fees.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm in favor.
I'm in favor.
My
So
brain
we're
was
all in-
lagging.
We're all in favor. Metered water rates. Would anybody like to address the increase in meter water rates?
So, we have talked a little bit about this, and we gave everybody a raise, fuel went up, people have to go out and read the meters, correct Pam? Destin?
That's for
Per
water,
house, you
sewer.
have to go out and read a meter. So right now, they're paying $35 per 1,500 gallons, and the board would like to raise that $10 to $45 per 1,500 gallons.
And then 2 cents, it would stay at the 2 cents per additional.
2 cent if you're over 1,500 gallons. The same, we're not increasing that, we're just increasing the base rate of the 1,500 gallons.
Dustin, do you know when the last time that was raised on the meters?
I do not. I don't have those numbers.
Pam?
I think it was, I believe it was raised the same time as the, in
The water and sewer rates.
In 2023,
The water sewer was May 1st, 2023. I don't know about the metered water, but the water sewer was.
I did a screenshot of that, just so.
So 3 years ago.
So, yeah, 3 years ago was the last increase that was done on that.
What is the community's thoughts? I don't know how many of you are on metered water versus hauled water, but do you?
Metered water, I think
Okay, it's not a huge
Well,
increase.
and the other thing is, it's only gonna be until the city,
Yeah.
Yeah,
until it
and then
versus
you'll
the
be
city.
billed by the city anyway.
Yeah,
And-
it's probably gonna be a big.
I mean, I'd really like
Yes.
to think at this time next year, everybody has a better idea how this is all gonna play out and how
Well,
it's gonna play out for us with the sewers and water
I
delivery
would
that we
say
have.
that 133 meters that we're discussing, by this time next year, will be on
Yeah,
the
you
city's
guys should be on
program.
city water.
So it's really only affecting during 2026 at most.
Dustin, Pam, you guys see any problems with increasing it?
No.
I would like to make a motion that we raise metered water rates effective April 1st from $35 per 1,500 gallons to $45, keeping the overage charge the same.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 2026 golf fees.
I make a motion that we go with the rates that Katie proposed and that we talked about in the meeting. We're keeping the annual membership the same, and we're increasing, hang on, I don't have my notes.
Friday
We're
through Sunday.
increasing the Friday through Sunday rates $10 for, I think it was members and guests, right? Wasn't it $10 each on the? Yeah.
Right.
Friday through Sunday, and the Monday through Thursday stays the same. Pam, did you make notes on what Katie was proposing when we did that?
That is, I
That's what
believe
I've
that
got,
is
I think
correct.
that's correct, okay, all right, that's what I make a motion on.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Do we specify when that takes place, or is it just the
March
golf
1st.
season?
March,
March first.
March 1st is when the golf
Annual,
fees
yeah.
change.
Yeah, cause the renewal starts in March. And that goes along with the age group for the kids, passenger, non-golfer rides for free.
When were
And,
the water rates effective?
April first.
For meter
Yes,
And for late fees.
and late
and
fees,
yeah.
So that gives everybody who likes to order or turn their tickets in late, that gives you a month to change your ways, a little over a month.
So
20
hang on, I wanna throw a question out to the water sewer guys. So a lot of these people, I see them post things, well, I don't know how much water I have, how do I know? If somebody has questions like that, would you guys be willing to meet with them to help them understand their water and sewer better on how to measure and to accurately order? Yes?
Dustin and I have talked about this, and we'll discuss it this week. We actually wanted to put on a little seminar for anybody who wanted to learn how to put a float in their tank in their sewer tank to see if their sewer's getting full or not. Dustin says really easy to do, and we thought, well, maybe community members would like to learn how to do this. So we will get together within the next week, and we'll see if we can set something up so that anybody who wants to come and learn how to do it can come and learn how to do it.
And you're also gonna hand out a flyer as you guys start delivering water or sewer with these adjusted rates and prices too, just so everybody knows. This isn't just a verbal, you'll never remember what it is. They're gonna make the effort to go out and make sure everybody receives something, a handout on this.
And I'll get it on the website.
Yeah, and, the drivers, yes, yes.
Why is it not sent through the email that we signed up for?
Okay,
I mean,
But that we
hardly
can-
ever get anything, only one thing, ever,
okay.
in there.
It's a
And
good
I don't
idea.
look at
Well-
Facebook on
Yeah, okay.
that stuff.
It's a great idea, we can do
Pam?
that.
Well, and you're wanting a lot of people you're wanting all of the property owners to start going onto the HOA Life,
We can
which,
put it
sorry,
on
I'm
there,
just as
too.
guilty as others, I haven't
Yeah.
gotten on there.
I'm-
To sign up so that you can see emails and
Yeah.
notices.
Okay, we'll work on doing better.
Okay. We can move on to the 2026 assessment policy. I hate to say this again, I'm sounding like a broken record. We have not had an opportunity to visit about this at all or to throw out the other assessment policies so that we can all go through it, last year's assessment policy, so we're gonna have to table that for this year, or this month. This year.
Would this be one of the new committees that we're wanting
No.
to? No.
2026 boat stickers, watercraft, RV, storage lot, contractor's lot, all those good things. We have decided we're leaving all of those alone. We're not changing anything. We're not changing so that boats get this color sticker, somebody gets another sticker.
But we won't be giving out a sticker for the trailers. There'll just be 2 stickers,
Thank you.
just like in the past. The other, do you want me to cover the kayak thing?
You can.
Okay. There's a one-time, like if you get a sticker for a kayak, it's good forever. It's not an annual, you don't have to renew it, it's just a one-time basically to identify that kayak. If it got floated away, if something happened, it helps to identify where does this thing belong, is really what it's mostly for. Because of what most of the kayaks are constructed of, it's very hard to keep a sticker on those. So some people have bought them and said, hey, I can't get a sticker to stay. So what Doug has proposed is, it's a more of an identification tag type thing that would wrap and lock onto you like your pull rope or whatever on your kayak, so that and once you put it on and lock it, it's there.
Number tag like they put on semi-trailer locks.
Yeah, that type of a thing. And so that way it's there and it stays, and you're not having to mess with it or worrying about it coming off. And so Doug has recommended that for the kayaks, and anyone that already has a sticker that says, hey, I had a sticker, it's not staying on, you wouldn't have to repay. You just come in and say, and they look and go, hey, you've already got that, and you can get this on, so that it's part of your kayak. And so we will be ordering those in. Doug has Pam was like,
I don't know what you're talking about.
yeah, I was gonna say, we will get with
Get with
Pam on
yeah.
getting those, because Doug has the thing, and I can't remember the cost exactly, but it was pretty reasonable to order and they don't have a date on them, they just have a number on them.
Okay.
Because they won't
It's a
expire.
lifetime.
Yeah.
Right, it's a
So
lifetime.
for those of
So-
us that have paid that but don't have one, we'll be able to just come get
Just come
one
and get
to
one
replace
of
what we have.
one of those.
Okay.
So that's what it will be. Yes?
Had a question then about those tags. Is there any way we can look at that for paddle boats as well? 'Cause
Yeah,
Those are for
right, it
paddle
would be
boats.
any
the
non,
non-motorized.
I said kayak,
Non-motorized.
but any non-motorized, canoe, kayak, paddle boat, any of that would have, that same, and it's just a one-time to help identify it, basically.
So I have a question. Will there be an update to the lake regulations?
They're working on that.
Okay. So as soon as we can get that,
Nothing's been
we can.
presented to the board.
Right.
Anybody have any questions? I'd like to make a motion that we keep the stickers the same this year, with the exception of non-motorized, watercraft that would receive an identification tag for their non-motorized watercraft.
A second.
If they have one, that they would be able to exchange it for free. All future would continue paying the same price for the identification tag.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Fifth security system.
So this was what I was talking about. This is the iLock system. We are not going to approve it just yet in the budget, but we want to look at that for 2026. The one that was presented, they came out to the meeting, they showed you how the locks all worked. We can even get those in padlocks for places where they have padlocks, through maintenance, where they could just walk up and not have to worry about having keys in their pocket. They would just have the app on their phone. We could put them on the maintenance buildings, we could put them on the bathrooms, we could put them on the gates. This particular company, iLock, would be putting new gates on the pool, so that was factored into it, the price, and it was also factored in to put a fence around the community center, which we don't want to do that until after we remodel the community center anyway. It would have a gate coming in from the sidewalk at the front parking lot by the guard shack, and it would have a gate on the back side where the regular sidewalk is now, coming up towards the pool. Those would be your two gates to come in. It would go all the way around the building, and it would keep us from having to do further locks or changes on the doors to the bathrooms or the laundry facility. We could still do an iLock on the community, or the fitness center room, to where we could keep track of who's going in and out of the fitness center if there's any kind of damages in there. But we've got it kind of sitting out there on that CapEx project, but Julie's gonna do some more work, some investigating with DH Pace to see what they offer. We wanna make sure Pam and Dustin and anybody else involved in that would, totally understand the system, because we could even put them on the doors down at the golf courses. And they can also be set with a timer, like during a certain day at the restaurant, it would be unlocked from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. And you don't have to use your fob to get in and out. So there's a lot of benefits to it to help us secure our amenities from people that are coming in off the streets or other things like that. So we'll provide more information before we definitely move forward with it. But I don't know how long our bid's gonna hold the estimate's gonna hold from the company. So we need to get it into consideration to decide.
And the issue that I have with it, I think the system is great. I love the system. I think it'd be absolutely wonderful to have the system. Is that I don't want to have to pay another
$18 per app.
$18 per app. So we're
person.
talking for the two of us be
Per year.
Per year.
$36 a year. I mean,
To have the app.
to have the app. I mean, I think it's a great system. I'd love to have the system. I'd love to have it on the pools. It's just $36 a year, and I know it doesn't sound like that much,
And the
but
property owner would pay for that.
yes,
The property owner would
property
pay
owner
for
would
that.
pay for that.
Yes.
So a question on that, if
Yes.
it's that much per app, is that per phone that has the app?
Yes.
So if you have a family and you want your kids to go, so
Right.
everybody in your family's got
It's
to pay that same amount.
$18 per phone.
Yeah, that ends up being a lot of money.
I mean, I know we've invested a lot.
Not everybody carries their phone all the time.
You can get an option with a fob that you put on your key ring.
But how
So-
much more is the fob?
I don't know that it's more. You would still have to pay for it. So
Would I pay for it one time, or would I have to pay for it every year?
it would be every year, just like the
'Cause it
phone
has
app
the
is.
app,
Yeah,
yeah.
because it's part of the electronic software. It's the software system that we're paying for on it.
Would our existing fobs work on it?
No, it would replace the gate and everything, so we wouldn't use the existing system that we have if we were to look at that one further. But again, we can have that company come back in and do another demo and explanation compared to what we currently have expanding on that with DH Pace.
Okay, if they change it, what do we do? Cause I have two of them that I've already paid for and use daily. Would they just exchange them, or would I have to pay again?
No, it would be a new system.
So it would be for the front gate.
Yeah,
All
the
the key
front gate
cards,
and,
all the
yeah.
key cards and all the
Yeah,
remotes.
And it
It would
would be-
eventually, it would get you into as we expanded on it, it would get you into every single building if you had access to get in. So in other words, you, myself, Lindsay Hammonds, whoever has access to the clubhouse, we could walk in and just put our phone up and it
I
would
just thought
open it.
this was gonna be an additional, not a total.
It would be a total
Yeah, it's a
rehaul.
total.
Redo.
But are you saying that or Pace that we have it now with may have options to do the same thing?
They have options, they're quite expensive, and they don't do the same thing.
Oh.
I mean, we would still be able, the advantage is we'd still be able to use our cards. The disadvantage is where we can put their product. With this, we can get padlocks, we can get door entrance, we can get gate entrance, we can get pool entrance.
Also,
Um,
why my brain is thinking of it too, this $18, that was based on like 33 or 3,500 apps at $18 per app. So the more people that sign up, the less that fee is, because it's a flat $4,500 a month. So however many people sign up, that's what it's divided out by.
So it's,
I would have a concern in the fact that the community would have to pay the $4,500 and then bill each of our members.
and
for
does that
app
fluctuate
per
every
year.
month based on
Well-
who's
Well,
using it?
I would recommend if we were to do this, that once we implement it, you pay that annual up front, and then the
I get it,
POA
but
has the money.
POA is then responsible for billing everybody annually for those
Mhm.
things, and I just think that's a whole, I'm not, I like Julie, I love the idea of it, but I do hate the idea of asking our members, when we've invested so much in DH Pace 3 years ago, to do that when just implementation for, 3,000 lot owners and getting that new, technology out to them, whether they want it or not. I just have a concern, and I think it's just something we would have to, I would like to ask, and I know we are, that we take really careful consideration because of the impact on our members versus what are, I understand we're trying to protect our amenities, and I don't disagree with that idea, but I do think that at what cost are we doing that?
Growing pains suck. That's just the bottom line, growing pains suck.
Go ahead.
Is there a large issue with amenities being abused, and do you have any examples recently?
Well, during the, music
Dance-topia
festival
Fest.
that they have, the people come over and use our bathrooms. We've always got people dropping their kids off at the front gate to go swimming.
Or laundry rooms.
And the people come in and using our laundry facility.
Showering.
Yeah, the bathroom is in showers. I mean, there's, I
And
can't
that,
talk.
that weekend is huge, but we have it continually throughout the year. I think once we've gotten a gate guard, I think that's helped a lot because we can kind of monitor who drives in and parks in that front parking and where they're going.
This is mostly concentrated at this front gate.
The majority of the gate is, but it can be built out through the community. We could put an eye-lock system upstairs on the door.
I get that, but are you
The
having
issues.
Oh, yes.
The issues. The
Well, no.
campground
We have
bathrooms.
people that come in and say they're here visiting their friends, and next thing you know, they're all in the pool, and their friends aren't, the member isn't there with them, which is what our thing is. You're supposed to have a member present with you, with your company, with your guests. And that's what people have been complaining about quite a bit, is there's people in here that aren't members, or the member is not with them.
But how do they know
Who's complaining?
that there's no member with them?
Conversations, sitting and talking to them.
It's another problem. I live in an HOA where people try to be kind, and so somebody walks up to the gate.
Hey, can you let me
Oh,
in?
I don't,
Yep,
why?
exactly.
And then the member lets them in, and I'm saying, it's just, it's an age-old problem, and I do understand that. I mean, I wonder if it's a big problem, what would it cost us to put a pool
Attended.
on the weekends or something where, they could, again, I know we don't want them to be law enforcement, but I'm just saying.
I mean, do you have problems with the pools being overcrowded in the summer?
I don't think we have a
I think
problem,
just
maybe
holiday
on
weekends
holidays.
and maybe certain days during the
I
weekend,
think
but
the
not.
beach gets busier than the pool does.
Because, I mean,
Then,
in all
how do
reality,
you know who's supposed to be there or not?
We don't on the lake, just like you don't at the boat
Just
ramp.
give their phone to a guest, and they can still come down here and go.
All
in
part of
and
the expansion and growing pains,
Didn't you say also too, though, that with that security system that even members that weren't paying or were late on their dues wouldn't be able to?
Right.
That's right.
Right.
If you're late on your dues after 30 days, we could shut you out, except
You
only
can't keep them
access.
out of the gate.
The only access they would have that we would allow would be to the gate. Other than that, all their access to anything else that has the iLock feature, they would not have. We could lock them out of everything.
So would it be, like I put in my number, you'll be able to see that I went into the bathhouse, for instance, is that what we're saying too? So if later in the day, somebody has trashed the bathhouse, you can see where and you were in there.
Did you notice anything when you were in there?
Well, and the thing.
When were you in there
Yeah.
compared to when the next person
Right.
was in there? And did you see anything when you were there?
Right, so in a way.
And I would like to think, regardless of whether we have iLock or not, I would like to think if somebody walks into an amenity and sees something trash, they would immediately call or text or whatever the office and say, hey, walk to the bathhouse, and not just ignore it, but call and say, it's been trashed.
But it's a good way to monitor the use of and who has had access to things that could have vandalized.
And with just like everything else, somebody said, well, you could just hand your phone to your guest and say, well, you're responsible for your guests. So if you're gonna hand your phone to the guest so they have access and something happens, you're responsible for your
Right,
guests.
you could have it shut off at 10 o'clock so people weren't just getting in the pool at
Exactly,
Correct.
that kind of thing.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I know we need the security, I'm not disputing
$4,500 a month.
Per month. Yeah, it's not an annual, it's a monthly fee. That's why we're talking about it. It's software. That's what softwares cost sometimes.
Is there a big issue with people that actually live out here full-time, not paying their amenities, or not paying their, assessments? Is that a
Rhonda,
large issue?
do you know based on, I think there's a few, but not many.
I mean, I think that, I would say we have it's difficult because we have probably 1,000, individual owned lots that are in what I would call serious arrears. But of those, how many of them are people who have basically abandoned their,
Right.
you know,
They're not
lot? They're not really coming. So, you know, you're saying, well, they're not using the amenities because they're not coming, but they're not paying their dues. But there are also, I would say, in the 1,000 of those, I think it's around 50 lots of people who do live here permanent, you know, full-time, that are seriously past due. So it's not, I would say it's not the majority. And so, and I think tightening up a lot of the things that we're tightening up, we're not gonna let people get seriously past due. But I completely agree that there would be benefit to being able to say, you're not gonna go dump your trash if you didn't, I mean, that's one of my things. If you're not current on your dues, you'll have to find someplace else to do that. I don't know. I mean, I think there are some protections that could be afforded that would motivate people. I live in an HOA and our trash is included, and believe me, if they don't stop at your house to pick up your trash, it makes people run in and pay their dues. So I think that there is motivation there for sure. It's just my only, like I said, I'm not trying to be negative about it. My own concern is just the implementation and then what the community, the reaction of community and, you know, for a family, if they're saying, well, my teenage kids need to have it, and, you know, I get it, it's not a huge expense, but just to throw it on.
I just hate to spend money to remodel everything. We've already got $150 grand in redoing the pool, just to have it become non-usable. You know, if we're gonna spend money on the investments that we have here, we need to spend money on making sure they're protected somehow.
I would agree with that.
Somehow.
But I haven't heard no real hard data that people that are not paying their assessments will come up there using the pool.
Well, we don't know if they are or not.
All right, but you're facing a problem that you have no hard data saying there is a problem. Other than people saying, well, there's a bunch of people up there who shouldn't be up there. And we all know how that goes here.
Yeah.
And let's say I want to use the bathroom.
But it's also a part of,
If somebody trashed the bathroom, there's only been one other person that day been in there, so you know it's them, what are you gonna do to them?
it's also a part of an advanced system to make things more accessible. Like, we could grow to put one on the door here, so instead of having to come to the office to get a key, if you have the app, they can send you a code and it would get you in here. It would be for the it could be for the cabins. I mean, it's not just security, it's accessibility.
But see, I just paid for this app for my phone here, what, 2 or 3 years ago, now I gotta pay for some more. Would we do two or three more years, then I have to buy another one?
Well, I would hope not.
Well, so I wouldn't bought this one if I wouldn't have to buy another one.
Well, we don't know that you have to buy another one. We're putting a
Well,
system out there for
the other
people to
thing,
hear
this
about.
app you would pay for every year, versus the one that you have now, it was a one-time fee.
Is that fee going up? Did I hear that fee's going up? For the app? For the
I
game?
think there was,
I mean, has there been discussion about that?
there's been a little bit of discussion, but nothing's been determined.
Right now, it's quite a bargain at $10 one-time
Right.
fee for the app.
Yeah,
Right.
and it's a one-time
Maybe
fee.
I saw it in an email or something.
Yeah, it's a one-time.
And we
Right.
do
No, I
pay
know.
about $5,200 a year, we are absorbing that for the open app.
But that's
So
a year.
That's
Yeah.
a year.
Yeah,
right.
5,200 a year, you pay $10, the POA pays it every year, whether you do or not. So technically, the POA could charge you $10 every year for that app to be break even.
All right, I say we table this for this month and revisit this at the next meeting. Last but not least is our new non-standing committee that we're requesting. What it is it's going to be a covenants committee, and we would like to have a minimum of 5 people on the committee. That would take the covenants, go through them, and see where we can make changes, bring it up to date, recommendations. Once we get that, we will take it to our attorney to review to make sure that what we're doing is appropriate, accurate, and correct. And from there, then we would move on to the voting. So if anybody would be interested in being on the covenants committee, if you could please sign up on the committee sheet. Like I said, we'd like a minimum of 5 people. We expect the committee to hopefully not take more than about 6 months to go through this and to get their thoughts together, to make recommendations to the board and the attorney.
What's the, I forget, but what's the percentage for quorum to meet that?
I believe it's 70%. And that is 70% of all
Of
property
all
owners, not
eligible
70%.
members, not of the people that voted.
yeah.
It's of all lot, of all people that are eligible to vote.
Do
Board,
we need to make a motion to have that?
yeah. I make a motion that we adopt a new non-standing committee for covenants review.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We have a new non-standing covenants committee. Please, guys, help us with this. It needs to be reviewed desperately. These are back from 1970, and I'm sure.
Well, and when the covenants was created, there was no city. And so there's just a lot of clarifications and clean up the language and things from a 40-plus-year-old set of covenants.
Discussion, open forum. Anybody want to speak? Good, bad, ugly? Jay?
Guys, I just wanna.
Will you get a microphone, please?
Yeah, grab the mic.
Jay.
Thanks. See if I can get into it. Can you hear me?
Yep.
It's generally not a problem. So I just wanted to say to the board again, I mean, and Pam, everybody's participating. And again, you've got the stuff on Facebook, and I heard you all comment on that. Again, you gotta ignore the background stuff. I've seen a lot of progress this year. I've seen, these are the best run meetings that we've had, you know, and I've been coming to all the meetings almost effectively for probably approaching a decade. And, so anyhow, those are big steps forward, the technology. Some of these things, some of these other topics on here, I mean, again, they're gonna create some controversy. Hopefully they create productive discussion, right? The non-standing committees and things have been a big thing. That was something that I was a huge advocate for a few years ago, and they've been very positive. So these types of things, getting people involved, getting more input, but again, I mean, I think, I just want to acknowledge your efforts. It's a crappy job. I mean, you know, and the pay ain't very good either. So, just keep up the work, you know, try and tune it out. And, you know, again, I mean, and I come here and I challenge things too, and I think that's part of the process, right? If we're not doing that, if people are not raising concerns or alternatives or exceptions, the process doesn't work. And so anyhow, that's really all I wanted to say. I think you guys are doing a good job, and you know, despite whether I agree with everything or not, it doesn't matter. I mean, you guys are moving it forward, you're taking action, and that's a really positive thing.
Thank you, Jay. Go ahead.
And who is on the nominating committee?
Okay, it was-
Kevin Mumaw,
it was-
Emily,
Yeah, okay.
Emily,
Kim
Kevin Mumaw,
Lister.
Kim,
I think
yep.
you're right.
Who was that, who was the guy that was there?
Josh?
And Josh somebody,
Josh Chabot.
yeah. That was all that interviewed me when I came in for my interview.
Did you have a specific question
No,
about?
I just didn't know who was on it.
Okay, and that is the one thing, if those of you that were on the nominating committee, you cannot be on the committee again next year. You can be on it the following year, but you cannot be on nominating committee 2 consecutive years. So we'll need a whole new group this year. next year, this year, well, end of the year.
Yeah,
They
the
need to
end
be
of
signed
this
up.
year.
They need to be signed up this year, preferably.
Anybody else?
Also, that there was no, bio or whatever written down, set out this year for new members.
There
that-
was on HOA Life. It should have come on the front page of your ballot when you,
I didn't
I
see
thought
any
it was
on
I thought
mine.
it was on the, was it not on the
I
ballot?
didn't
No, it
see it with
wasn't.
mine. We gave them to Pam, and the nominating committee had them. I don't know why they weren't.
What's that?
the
All of our
bios,
bios?
because we
They were
voted to
supposed
put
have
them
been put on
HOA Life.
It was decided that they would not be sent out with the,
And it was on the cover page of the ballot.
But it did direct people where to go, I
Yes.
believe, in order to get those. It was we were trying to cut back on the cost of the mailing by directing people to other sources for all information.
Because the extra pages in there took it over the limit on postage, and then it was gonna be
Even
a
more.
much higher postage to mail everything, and so it
And
was.
really, guys, I know it's hard for us older people to get used to doing stuff on the computer, but if you guys could really start now trying to check HOA Life, maybe check in on it once a month, or, we're gonna try to start utilizing this more and more and more, and it's kinda like the doctor's office or the prescription pharmacies you have to mail order from and all of that. Unfortunately for us old people, everything's going digital, and it's tough to change. It's hard to change, especially if we're not computer literate, which I can check my emails.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
But
Or my email?
please try to get used to using HOA Life more and more if you can. It would be helpful to you and us as well.
Well, I have
Anybody
it somewhere. I
else?
just don't want to go into my emails on the screen. I was going to try and log in real quick to show everybody where it is, but I don't know how to get in it, so.
I don't know who was responsible for the big cardboard recycle container, is that the city or?
that was the, Lynn County Solid Waste, or
good.
the
That's
landfill,
awesome.
the landfill guys,
Love it.
what they did.
Is there
I mean,
anything
you
on the
can kinda tell
actual
They converted a,
Lynn
roll-off
Valley,
bin into a
Julie,
cardboard.
is there
and
anything
it's
on the Lynn Valley
cardboard
website
only.
with our bios?
Thanks for bringing that up. I forgot about that.
But we needed it, it was
Yes.
desperately
Yeah.
good deal.
Unless she,
One thing I did
she should have
notice
put it on her announcements. We
on
gotta
the
work
regular
on that.
recycling,
Yeah,
you
exactly.
put some gravel down, it's all dirt, but you go around the backside, you're still stepping in dirt and mud. So
Justin,
we
take
need to
care of that.
widen the walkway on the backside.
Okay.
I will just mention, maybe we can work on getting something on the website that gives people just a reminder of the instructions on how to
Yes.
go out to HOA Life.
Yeah,
Maybe a
because-
little video that
Yep.
shows them how to do that.
Yep, absolutely.
Because it's hard when you get that email and then you go, where did that email go? And I can't remember. Yeah.
Okay, everybody come up here and sign up for a
This shouldn't be for members.
Okay. Are you gonna? Is that the last
Everybody's
question?
done? Okay, great. Thanks for coming. Don't forget.
Motion to adjourn.
I'm not done.
Julie's not done, you guys, hang on.
I just want to remind you, next week and next Saturday is the annual meeting. Ballots need to be in if they're hand delivered by 10:30 that morning. Benefit dinner for Wayne Scott tonight. We've added an additional page to the agenda that has announcements, which everybody did get emailed, so that page will be on there going forward. I make a motion, we adjourn the meeting.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Nobody.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank
I'm
you.
not getting any emails either, except for the one that comes out with like the schedule for the month and the agenda for this. I ain't getting
I mean, I can. I mean, it doesn't matter. Oh. Do you know who's coming back? Do you know who's coming back?
We'll talk to Brenda, because Brenda's running that,